Good to see you. IG88, faithful bot, always present. Uh, Human, I assume. Yeah, I don't see Shug popping in yet, and it's about 5 minutes. So I'm just gonna go and check the old Twitter DMs, which is where we're usually communicating. So just give me a sec to do that. Um, And if not, God forbid that something technical comes up to where he can't join, we will reschedule again if need be. But hopefully not. Hopefully he should be here. As I said, we were in communication earlier today, so we should be good to go. Jose, I know you're on stage with me. I don't know if you can even talk right now. I just was, kind of scrambling to throw a line out while I was trying to get my audio connected. It was working so good there for just maybe 2 weeks. I was having really good luck connecting the audio with Discord, and then it seems that it's getting on shakier ground again. But maybe that's just the amount of people using it or something, or maybe they pushed some kind of update that made it go back to worse. Shout out to Planet Binks, Mama Binks in the house, best band mom in the world. Hope you're doing good. I'm just killing a little time here till our guest arrives. Yeah, and in fact, with that killing of time, I am going to mention the old Nifty Island. So I don't know. I know, Jose, you were having a lot of trouble, and I think Trizzle was actually trying to maybe do some technical back end support with you to get you to be able to download the right, version of the client or something, because something snafu'd there. But I've been, putting a little time in over there. It didn't really all last week. I missed out on the end of the last big competition, but I have racked up like a pretty good score, and I've had like a decent amount of people visit and come like play games on my island. I'm like a gold level tier for the airdrop or whatever. Largely just actually that's because of my large NFT collection. So I have like assets where a lot of the communities that are participating in Nifty Island have their little groups inside there. So you get sort of like points for being in more communities because you're supporting those. And depending on how many maybe assets in that community you have, you'd get a certain amount of points or whatever on this scale. So I had collected a few NFTs that in this down market I've been eyeing for a while. And I think they bumped me up from like the silver to the gold status. So I put out a tweet a little while ago that's basically just a show for people to like use my link and stuff if they want to sign up to boost me up to the next like super high level. And who knows what it's going to be like when they do their island drop, because right now you've got the little tokens in the world, the blooms they're called, and you run around and you collect those and you can do different missions, or if you compete and you're like the winner of a capture the flag or a race or a death match, you will maybe win those blooms. And then by spending those, by minting assets in their marketplace, whether you're minting a little house to display your NFTs on your island or whatever, that the minting in their market using your blooms also like gives you points towards this like whatever island drop that's coming. So a little bit of info there, and I have been putting in a little time. In fact, even on a call with Slingshot DAO this morning, I brought it up on like the bigger call of the week, and I was like, hey, we should maybe looking over there. It wouldn't hurt to have a island that kind of reps the DAO, and people would be able to find us through it. And because there's it is sort of like a merging of Web2 and Web3 people over at Slingshot DAO. Sugar in the house, woohoo! All right, I think I killed enough airtime to get him in and up on stage. So what I think I'll do is I'm going to shoot an invite for him to speak. I'm going to put Jose back down in the audience for now. I think he's probably, I don't know, either gathering water from a stream or eating something tasty. No, I'm not sure. But yeah, Sugar. All right. Welcome to the stage. And we'll see. It sometimes takes a few minutes to get the audio situated. So, possibly jumping out of the app and restarting it and getting back in might be needed. I'm just going to take a quick look at anything in the chat here because I haven't been paying attention to that. No idea what you're doing. Yeah, run around in circles, Banks. That's all you got to do. You got to. Oh, damn! You haven't gotten the Nifty Island worked out, Jose. That's um. Let's see. All right, catching up with chat. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of alphas out there. It's not at all the one thing you need to do. And in fact, there was there's always good advice is that there's always other things coming. And I've missed so many things, and in the past, I've like kind of beat myself up over missing things. And every once in a while, you still kind of do, or you regret missing something maybe. But I know that there's always so many interesting projects and crazy talented people that there's always cool stuff right around the corner. Um, so yeah. Uh, all right. Just checking on the chat there. I don't see anything from Suga on in the chat there. But test your mic, Suga. Can you speak?
Yes, I think I can.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Good
Copy.
morning, Lizzo.
Good morning. All right. Yeah, it's like evening for me, and it's late for you. So early morning. Super stoked that we were able to put this together and get you back on Easy's corner to catch up.
Of course. I am glad to be here. I am glad to join in. I'm just trying to put myself together, get my other phone running too. So I have
Yeah. No problem. Get settled, get situated, get comfortable, and we'll get into kind of see what you have been working on lately and what you've. It's been quite a while since you've been on. You've been on the show multiple times over the last what three plus years. But it has been a while, so I'm excited to hear about kind of what things you've been doing both in your life and then also with respects to your art because since back in the early Cent days you've been evolving your art and I think you have a really great story to tell. You've also worked in kind of some of your struggles and stuff that you've gone through worked into your posts and your art and stuff like that. So to share about your journey and stuff is really cool. Want to shout out Jose, sorry, Jose, Louis, who just jumped in down in the audience as well, and Spherical joined. Big welcome, everybody. We're just kind of getting going here, so nobody missed anything yet. I just kind of rambled for a few minutes. And I won't ramble about what I rambled about to save Jose's ears. But yeah, very happy to have you with us. I think I know that Elbow was like really looking forward to when you were going to be here. So I'm just looking to messages from him because I did shoot him on saying you were on tonight. Oh,
quite.
okay. He'll be coming maybe just a little late.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Happy to join. Happy to be on EZ's corner. It's always a privilege. And, this is would I say this is like one of the channels, groups, the community. This is a community I respect, but it's one of the would I say it's one community that has stood the test of time in our crypto journey. So it's glad talking to you. I sound a little bit anxious, but I know within a few minutes that's going to trying to set up is a to set up. I had to get phone from my brother for this show because I was supposed to be on the show I think last night. I had some technical calls, so today I'm on. So I have my files on.
I'm glad you were able to get your bro's phone so you can attend. Yeah, that's hard when technical issues are also a barrier. Besides, also like the huge time difference and everything. So far, you've been coming in pretty good for me. Maybe a little choppy. So I also wanted to get feedback from the audience if you guys are hearing Suga okay. I did go and like click on Suge on the stage, and then I was able to also turn up the volume a little, so that helped me. I boosted the sugar volume.
So I hope I'm clear enough. Is it?
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to make sure for the audience too. For me, it's coming through pretty good.
All right. All right. So let's start when we get a question.
Nice. I also really like when you say EZ, because in like the States and everywhere I've lived, it's just Z. But then I know in a few different places, I think in like South Africa, they would use Z. In some parts of maybe like Europe too, they might use it. I don't know if it's like a British thing or but somewhere over and across the pond, I think they use Z too. But it's rare that I hear that. I always think it sounds so cool.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
I got a little feedback from everybody in the crowd. They say you're coming through pretty clear, but the audio is a little low. So maybe if you just speak like closely to the mic or the phone, or just to keep your voice kind of at a high level, that will help. But yeah, let's do it. I don't know if you wanted to share links or share screen or anything like that, or if we're just going to be basically having a conversation.
so I think we'll be having a conversation. I think we should start with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I can join Discord to the secret phones. Still yet to connect the other phone. It keeps the app keeps going down. I don't know. Maybe I can't
Ah,
connect. So we don't bore the audience. I think we should have a discussion along the way. I'll share some file links to some.
yeah. Absolutely. And if you get, if you get it so that you can share more, awesome. If not, we can totally just, have a conversation and we can share some links and people can view the art that way, or maybe share a few screen captures or something when we're talking about a specific piece. But I think for, oh, nice. Elbow joined. You didn't miss much, Elbow. We're just really getting rolling still. Great to have you here. Elbow is also a longtime collector of Suga's artworks from all the way back in the early Cent days. But yeah, I wanted to, not everybody here has known you for years. So I wanted to give people a little view. And I don't know, we might be streaming out on Twitter and Unlonely and other platforms as well. So there could be more people that listen into this now in other platforms or later. So I wanted to give a little bit of your background before we really get into the actual art pieces and stuff. So if you want to share a little of your history, maybe a little bit of how you found crypto and the Web3 community, and because we met years and years ago on Cent. So maybe to share a little bit of the backstory of kind of how you found crypto, and then we can delve more into how you have your love of art and your connection there, and how those things kind of united.
Right. All right. Happy to see you, Elbow. Would I say Elbow actually was my first collector back in 2019. So I've been friends. He's been very supportive, and I am glad he's in the audience today. My name is Namdi from Africa. Go by the handle Sugar, which that's I got that. It's a nickname actually, but it's a nickname with purpose. Because, it's my cousin. My cousin actually called me Sugar back in 2016, 2017 when I was in college, because of my ability to hold a crowd and not bore everybody. So she was like, "Oh, you're sweet like sugar. Even though you're not sentimental, you still try to get everybody along." So my name is Sugar, Africa, Nigeria. I've been in the Web3 space since 2019. I joined this space out. I won't say I joined the space because of the money involved. I think I joined it zero funds, zero thoughts about making. Then I was still very new crypto space, so I haven't gotten any airdrop, no sales. Um, I actually joined this space to build an audience because I joined with a purpose. And along the line, everyone would see that that purpose, that vision has not changed. Even though there have been some ups and downs, I've been happy. Web3 space favors its own. I've been favored. The Web3 space also teaches a lot of lessons, and I have learned a lot. So somehow join this space because of it. Join this space to grow. And I would say it's easy. I've always said it. I am not a traditional artist. I didn't have any knowledge, zero knowledge about arts in terms of appreciation, creation, as at when I joined. But then I was very passionate about providing value for myself. You see, back then I was struggling with an addiction problem. I can't talk about my art. In fact, my art journey is all about advocacy. Okay, I joined this space to be able to give up gambling. I used to gamble
Mm.
as at 2016, 2017. I got my son. I had my son, not got. I had my first son in 2017, 2018. So because of that, minus the consequences of problem gambling, which I was experiencing then, having my son was something that made me become sober. And then I didn't know I was even going to do art, but I was just willing to, okay, I will join this space. The Web3 space was booming then. A lot of projects, a lot of visions, a lot of stories, even EZ. I remember when you were doing the window podcasts during the
Yeah.
Saints days. Yeah, so
Oh
that was
yeah. I
that was
I I always found your posts really inspiring because you did share about like your gambling addiction and stuff like that. And so, yeah, it was just it was something that was kind of unique because not a lot of people were kind of taking that approach when they were like you said you were like coming to kind of build an audience. So just your very like kind of like your honesty and openness about that and just the experimenting in the time and then you kind of starting to experiment with the art. It was just really interesting. It's been pretty incredible to watch and be part of your journey and watch the story and really watch your art evolve a lot.
thank you. Thank you. And the arts, I won't want to, would I say self praise myself, but when I look at my art journey, I think I am not where I used to be. And I used to say any progress is progress, but this time it's not just any progress. I have made a lot of progress in the space, and I've been able to use my art to support myself financially. I'm saying that because there was a space I joined when I said I am not doing art for the money, and
Mm.
someone called me to order that. I shouldn't be biased. That money is a good motivator. So yes, I have made some. I have I have sold a good number of pieces. That's thinking about it now. EZ. I know
Hmm.
I still have a lot of work. Still have a lot of commitment to do, but I am not where I used to be. I have sold at least 20 NFTs, which
That's awesome.
yeah, which Elbow happened to be my first collector. EZ happened to be maybe my second collector. I remember Omokachi. We bought the Omokachi piece. You bought
Yeah.
during the coronavirus. You bought the flower. I've forgotten the cure. Yes.
Yeah.
From there,
Yeah.
yeah. So from there, I've always been building. The issue was the okay. It's not an issue. The interesting part of my journey was that when I started creating art, I didn't have a lot of knowledge about it, and I was intentional about not just creating art because maybe going on YouTube, learning a style from YouTube, and replicating it, and like I didn't see the originality in that. So I was always creating art out of inspiration, and this made my early arts, they were not consistent in terms of style and the way I created them. But the story was consistent, struggle was real, and that was what helped me to um, get the number of sales I have gotten so far. But since last year, you know, personally, I read a number of books. I saw some videos. I have been in a number of art communities, so I began understanding what art is. And I would say since last year, I have discovered my own style. It is just unfortunate that up till now, I guess maybe I will get my lap. Up till now, I can't share some works. Long story short, I started creating art with zero knowledge, but now it might not be the best of arts, but I have my own style, and I think I think I'm doing something with it. I'm doing something with it.
Mhm. I think that you were saying that maybe it's not so good for the art to not have like consistency from the beginning, but you were experimenting, and I mean, the technology also was totally new and is inconsistent, and some of the stuff, we were making art on platforms that don't even exist anymore, where those NFTs, some of them have vanished if you didn't get them off that, like, onto the chain or something. So, through that, having really and also you mentioned kind of the consistency of your story, people aren't just buying the piece of visual, they're buying what it represents to them, what they think it might represent for the artist that did it. And there's all these reasons to buy and collect. And sometimes it's not only that, oh, I like this is visually interesting. Sometimes there's other reasons too. And so, it all ties together. And I do think that seeing, your art from the really early stuff, and being, probably the second or third collector of your works. And I remember because Elbow had bought the first piece. And so I had seen it. He showed it to me. He was like, "Oh, look, I got this. It's like Suga's like first piece or something." And he was showing it off to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." Like, it was unique. Yeah, it wasn't like super flashy or anything, but it had a style. And so then I was kind of keeping my eye on some of his works, and then picked one up shortly after, and I was like, "Ooh, awesome! Like, I want one of these too." And so that's just how it started for me collecting. But over the years, I had picked up a few pieces, and I'm excited to see what you've been working on over the last many months, and to get to keep collecting as you grow on your journey.
Definitely, definitely. I'm still unable to connect. So um, let me do what my art is about. You see, I I am creating art as a means of advocacy, as a means to share, to bring to the awareness of my audience, of the public, the consequences, the damage being caused by gambling, problem gambling, though. So
Yeah.
I've always said it's easier, presenting maybe a body of work, and that would create some visual interest. Then I advocate. I try to point out those issues in the society. So this is me. My arts would always be for advocacy. And since I have the floor, I will say this directly. Anyone interacting with sugar, anyone hearing my voice, I don't know. I'm from Nigeria. I've never been in the United States or any other country, so I don't know how it is there in terms of young people suffering from addiction, substance addiction, gambling addiction. But here in Nigeria, it's a very big issue and it is overlooked. Okay, so I am building myself, my art journey. I'm building myself through art to finally or to possibly be someone, a go-to guy when it comes to addiction. You see, while I've been creating art, while I've been in the Web3 space, I've also been that person in my immediate society. I don't have a lot of audience yet, but I've helped a number of people quit some substances. Like, not, I didn't do it on my own, but I've always been that support person, even up
That's
till
great.
today. Yes, even up
That
till
that is
yesterday.
huge.
True, it is. It is, and it's a source of inspiration. That vision. I don't see it going away. I don't, and um, I don't know what to say. I
Do
think
you do you have like do you have a kind of like goal to either have maybe, and I'm saying like long term, like maybe in some years, are you wanting to have some kind of like larger organization or maybe an actual even like physical location or something where people could either get treatment or at least have access to like community people to talk to and stuff like that, because it has been the awareness of addiction and has been a big part since the beginning. And I know that you've been helping others, and as you just mentioned, like also helping people get off certain substance abuse. Even just a few people that you could maybe get to get off a drug or alcohol is that's like a life turned around, a life saved. So that's pretty big work. So I just also wanted to kind of know, because I haven't really ever asked, I don't think, like if you do have like a long-term goal of trying to have, um, you know, maybe a center, a healing center, or I don't know, because I never asked. I always knew that this was part of your journey, but it would be interesting to know if you've even thought that like that far ahead, or if you're just taking it kind of like you just said a minute ago, you're building yourself through your art journey, something like that you said. So that's like kind of as we do, we build up our lives. We have up times, we have down times. But is there a larger goal you have for setting up some kind of real like network or place where people could treat addiction?
yeah, yeah, sure. That is the goal. That is the main goal. If I would give something that seems to be my roadmap, which should comprise my stats, the journey, and where I'm heading. I think my mission would be successful when I am finally able to create my own center,
Mm.
like a kind of foundation. I see myself having, like, as you can see, we have churches. Some
Yeah.
churches, they come as, maybe, let's say, this is the headquarters, or this is the first of its kind, this branch. Then from there they spread out. You see, um, you can't talk about a problem without the would I say, the reasons or the root causes of those problems. To me, here in Nigeria, I think we don't have a whole lot of options. As young people, we have the energy. We always want to engage in stuffs, okay? But we don't have that option for a whole lot of. There's always a barrier when it comes to healthy activities. What do I mean? Like 2 days ago, I was having some. I was feeling moody. I was having some mood swings, and I had to go swimming. I went to a hotel, I paid, and I used the pool, I played the snooker, I played the tennis, and I paid. Each of those services had costs, you see, but you see a good number of persons there. And apart from that environment, any other place you go, you would see those negative addictions, either alcoholism, maybe you having to go to a bar or a gamble house. We don't have we don't have those lucrative activities. So when you from to talk about a long-term goal, it is my goal to create a conducive environment for young people, both those already struggling with addiction and those avoiding it. You see, I believe our environment influences us a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's always been my goal to create a safe place for young people, and I'm going to do that probably. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I am not very buoyant financially to say, okay, I'm building this today or tomorrow, but I have that inner conviction that if I can keep it up with my heart, if I can persevere, if I can stay committed, we all know that this space can bless someone, and I look forward to that day where the proceeds from my art would go directly, at least a reasonable portion rather, would go directly to financing this environment I'm talking about, where probably
Awesome.
I would, yes, where I have that, a game section, I have an artist studio, a music studio, a library, somewhere conducive, somewhere fun to be in, but no drugs, no, um, you know, no harmful substances. And even if you're struggling with an addiction, that environment would provide you with both medical, that is, if we can provide it, or we can refer and support you. You see, um, one of the challenges of addiction is sometimes your family members, your friends might not even know you're struggling with an addiction. And even when
True.
they know, yeah, even when they are, okay, sugar, you've been gambling. Sometimes it just be scolding, you know, which creates a sense of rejection. Even your mom might not like it that you're gambling, but she would not know how to help you. So
Hmm.
long term, I'm suppose I know it's like I see it as my purpose on earth. I know that I should be able to sensitize people on how to manage addiction, how to fix it, create an environment where over time, art for me was just like I'm struggling with bad habits. I understand that um it takes a habit to replace another habit, which is why I
Yeah.
started doing art. So creating a space where people would find um helpful helpful activities, and before you know, they'll pick it up. They have a support circle, they have friends, they have an immediate audience, because sometimes, especially here in Nigeria, it's the young people that suffer these addiction problems a lot. And a whole lot of us, that talent is there. Even though I said I had zero knowledge about art, I've been able to make a living through it. Meaning, if I can help people channel their energy into something they love, I might not be the one to buy their collection. That is, if they choose to do digital art. I might not be the one to read their books if they choose to write, or listen to their music if they choose to sing. But having an environment where we'll have a number of people coming in, networking together, I think it would be easier to engage someone. You might be struggling with something, you come around, ah, you're accepted. You meet people like you struggling. And
Yeah.
the environment forces you to bring out that inner potential. With time, you get so used to it. You see, maybe you share a post, we help you promote it, and you would want to come back tomorrow. And before you know, that's other negative addiction. There will not be a whole lot. You will not have a lot of time to engage in that, because now you have people looking up to you. You have people calling you on phone. We've not seen you at the studio. You've not completed this project and all that. Long term, long term, I am going to create that environment to promote positive behaviors, get
Yeah,
people away from negative addiction.
that would be amazing to be able to have an actual, like, physical center. You can do some of this stuff, like you're saying, through Twitter or X, or through like Web3. There's I'm trying to think of I'm trying to remember the name. Oh, Crypto Mories. The Crypto Mories was an NFT PFP project focused around mental health. And I think that if you had one, that you had access to, like some different services and stuff. Like you could call up and talk to counselors, things like that, something like that. So there's definitely, Web3 affiliated projects that have done things in this realm. I think if it was possible to be able to fund through your art, or maybe some collaborations, or a type of collection or something, to be able to, like, build up into, you almost, we're a type of association, or maybe it's a quote unquote church, something like that may be beneficial, legally, to have it under something like that. But basically, just a community center where I think providing access to just the space alone, but also a little bit of guidance towards music or visual art or writing, dance, any of those things would be, huge. It could make such a difference. So I love, how much thought you've put into this, and that is kind of your main goal. And Elbow is sharing a few pieces, a few links from his art he's collected in the chat, so people can get a look at some of the visuals here.
Wow, thank you, Elbo. It's unfortunate I might not be able to share my art. I worked so hard today to get them.
I hope maybe if there's not a way for you to like screen share them or something, maybe there'd be a way to at least get like a photo, a photo with the cell phone, or a screen capture, maybe just to post into the chat towards the end. If we're not able to, kind of see through, if you don't have any of those, the new ones like minted per se. So if it's not through a link, maybe just to share a picture or something, if the technology works that much for us. Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm still very excited to see some of your new works. But so we'll get a view of them at some point, I know. But yeah, this is awesome, getting to hear just more about your journey and your plans.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. I, I had to leave. I had to leave my family outside. So, my laptop is inside. I think I would have to go back in. They would have to bear with me because I'm trying to talk as loud as I can.
No problem. I get it. I've actually, like I had mentioned to my kiddos, okay, I'm starting the show soon, because I get better Wi-Fi, like if I have the door open to the room I'm in. If I have it all closed, then maybe I just have like just enough to connect, but the audio is not quite as good. So like they're now in their rooms, and so they're not making noise in the kind of main part of the house. So I totally understand. But yeah, take your time on grabbing that, and hopefully this computer link up is going to work. Oh yeah, Elbow just dropped a really dope one. Get it or no?
Which of the art channels is Elbo dropping my piece?
Oh, I will tag you. It's in the chat, the live chat. I just tagged you there, so it should ping you. But yeah, now I remember that one that's all black and white almost, except for the rose and the Bitcoin earring. Like there's a little bit of color in it, but yeah, I remember that. Super, the contrast is really cool.
Yeah. I love this piece, man. I love this piece. This is actually an animation bar. Yeah, it is, and it has the white parts of her body glows. The colors you see, they glow. The Bitcoin is always changing color. That is the earring. It's a beautiful piece. Thank you, Elbo, for sharing. And this is a
Yeah.
piece. Okay, the description is there. Yeah, inspired by her elder sister Ada. Ola. Okay, this is Ola. Evo, could you share Ada? This is Ola. You can go through the description. I made this art based on crypto. Crypto inspired. These were the early days, my early days in the crypto space. They were the best days of my life because um, Web3, the Web3 space actually helps me get rid of addiction. Did and these were my pieces. This is Ada. This is Ola. Two of a kind.
Mhm.
Thank you.
It's so cool to see these, it kind of takes me back. And just the way you took like, some maybe like African, like lore, like some, some legends, and then you mixed in and you really created like your own vibe around like what you were pulling from, culture, and then what you were kind of taking, like mixing, I think Ada, and then like the Bitcoin on her earring, like and it was really inventive, and your pieces always struck me as different.
True, true. Okay, I've managed to get into my OpenSea profile through the link that is
Awesome.
Elbow shared. Yeah, so I think I'll pull out some works. I've sold
Great.
basically all the artworks I created. It's something, man. It's something. Okay, I want to share a piece. Let me see if I can grab the link. This is Grown Man. All my art pieces, all of them, they 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 had there's a story attached to it. Let me share Grown Man. Talk a little bit about it.
Awesome. Excited to see these and hear about them. Because, yeah, that was always totally such a big part of collecting your art, was to see what's behind this, what's the some little story, the twist, the little piece of culture, whether it was maybe something about the clothing or something about, where this, kind of spirit or person like came from, or there was always some interesting like story to go with the art.
I am stuck. I can't find the send button. Is let me explain, man.
uh, oh, I
I have
see you
I have
sent a little, like a little recording. Maybe just go like back up a little, and then you should be able to copy paste. Like if you copy paste and just hit the return, that should send it on the computer. Because yeah, it's a little different mobile over. Oh, hold on. Hey, Drago Nate. We need to get you some special perms. Drago, if you are there, can we get Suga link permission? And I might be able to do that real quick if Drago is away from the phone. Let me just go into settings and see if I can't get you some higher permissions. Uh, there you are. Oh, you have guest speaker. I think that would let you put links.
I just gave it to him now.
Sweet. Thank you, Dragonite. Okay.
yeah,
So
thank you,
now,
Dragonates.
yeah, shout out, everybody
And
shout out Dragonate, the wizard behind the curtain.
yeah, and Dragonate is also a collector. I appreciate you, man.
Nice. Oh,
Okay,
geez.
this is Grown
Gotta
Man.
stick together.
This is Grown Man, an edition of 10 with 6 sold. And
Very striking visually. Like lots
and
of contrast. I love it. The use again of a lot of black and white and then just a few colors always makes for a very interesting visual.
sure, sure. And I created this piece, as the name implies, Grown Man. As at when I created this piece, I was at rock bottom. I was at rock bottom. I wasn't sure, you know. Starting out in arts, I had a lot of self doubt, which it's both healthy and unhealthy. I'm glad I was able to live above that. Okay, so when I created this piece, I was like, I'm doing it, man. I'm going to create a piece, and I am a man. I should be able to fend for myself and my family.
Mhm.
Which is why I called it grown man. Like I'm doing this. I created the work. I had some doubts. Should I post this? Should I mint this? Should I not? But to my surprise, when I minted it, I got like 3 editions sold, and I was proud of myself. This artwork actually helped me a lot because, as I said, when I created it, I was at rock bottom, man, and I got some funds from this work, and from there I didn't stop. I will keep on pulling out some pieces. We are going to get there eventually. Let me see. There is another artwork. Okay, okay. Let me share some works, some of my recent works that have been collected by Green Giants on Twitter. I sent
Nice.
him an invite to the show. I don't know. Let me see. Give me a minute. I'm trying to pull out another artwork.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to let the audience know, if you do click through on these links, a lot of them will have either like there'll be some color variations on some of the on some of the earlier links that were just dropped, and or movement. So there's some kind of glitch aspects to some of these. So well worth also clicking through on these links so you can get like a full, kind of full appreciation. And then, of course, if there's something that you see that you like and there's one available, or you want to drop an offer, something like that. And also you'll have like the descriptions and things like that if you click through to the link. So just a little advice. Yeah, that's pretty ballsy um, to share and list and sell and interact with a piece like that is from like your rock bottom. I remember I made a piece called uh, "Why the Long Face." It was one of my very first NFTs, and just like made a sent post and shared it. And yeah, it was just from like, I don't know, I was having a bad couple days or whatever, and I wound up taking this picture of myself like laying down on the floor, and then kind of tweaked it and just called it "By the Long Face" and had a little description, and that was one of my earliest pieces.
Okay. Um, I found another piece which is very close to my style because now I think I have my own style. Let me grab the link and share. Is anyway,
Awesome.
I'm going inside. Let's see if we could get the company. I wasn't
Alrighty.
able to mint any piece today. I wanted to mint on Magic Eden.
Oh,
I had
cool.
that
Yeah.
at the back of my mind, but sometimes I don't know why I couldn't mint. I've already sent some soul to my wallet, and don't know, it didn't work. So we're going to be sharing
Well,
them as pictures.
yeah, soon,
The minting
I'm
after
sure.
now.
I think minting on through Nifty Gateway, that's a cool idea. Or Magic Eden, or forget which one you said. But yeah,
Okay,
OpenSea is old news, people. OpenSea is old.
OpenSea is old news, of course, but it's there.
It's still there. I actually hope it'll be there forever, even though other platforms I think will like do better and have kind of better interactions and stuff. I don't want OpenSea to fail. I just want them to do better. Ooh, this is looking awesome. Yeah.
Did the link load? It's not showing on my end.
It just came through for me. I'm actually clicking it over and throwing it over to my computer so I can see it kind of bigger and stuff. Um, yeah, love the very colorful nature and the very interesting kind of cubismness on this not by chance piece. That and having Green Giant as the owner, he's a big OG and a fine collector of arts for sure.
Yes, Green Giants has been very supportive, and um, he's collected a good number of my artworks. I am on my laptop now, so I'll try to share my Wi-Fi and get things going.
Cool, cool. Brooke Hawk, who also was in the house. All right, fingers crossed for the tech to work out. Excited to see some of the newest works. All right, we'll see how the Wi-Fi fares.
Yeah, this is half empty. If you observe, my recent works has some elements of, let's say, addiction, some elements of addiction attached to it, because the challenge was creating art that resonates with my purpose, advocacy. That was where I was having challenges. But this broken artwork or broken style, I don't
Mhm.
know. It's something that connects very much with what I'm doing here. Okay. Okay, I'm setting up Discord on
Yeah,
my laptop.
and the naming, I think, of your pieces, you've always come up with very well, like just good names because not everybody puts the maybe it's more abstract or something, but you always kind of seem to have a name. I think I remember in past I'd asked you specifically about some of the names, and there would be some specific maybe content could have been African lore or god or goddess or something tied into that. Or here in this example with Half Empty, you've got like the bottle reference in there, and so you can instead of looking at the glass as half full, you're looking at it as half empty, and so there's really there's multiple kind of layers that you always seem to find to work well together in the visuals and the names of your pieces too.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm almost there. My Discord is just loading. I'm downloading some updates. And I
Cool,
think I
cool.
will share some very recent pieces.
Awesome. I know I know there's a couple of us here, myself and a couple in the crowd that are going to be real excited to get to see the newest works. And are you currently able to put more time into art creation, or are you only having like a little bit of time on the side to work other jobs? I remember you had worked like I think well security for a church and different things like that as well, because obviously we have long lasting bear markets where like it's a lot harder to sell a piece, or you have to like sell for less, or when you get the funds in they're not worth as much because the coins are down, or there's all these things too. So I was also kind of wondering about that, how much time you're getting to put towards your art these days.
Yeah, basically, as you said, I've had some jobs. Here in Nigeria, there's a shortage of good jobs. So I've
Right.
always been struggling, and because I have two kids, sometimes the time is there to create art, but I just have to do some other thing to get the money coming on time, not stressing my children. So
Yeah.
sometimes I have time. I have a whole lot of time to create art, but that pressure, that family pressure coming in, causes a kind of, would I say, creative mental block. Sure, that's what they call it here. Sometimes I'm
Right.
tense. I need to get funds, and we all know. when you mint an NFT, that you minted an NFT does not mean you're going to find a collector soon. So
No.
true. So I think that makes me I have not really given it 100%. But job wise, I have been unlucky too. Like Ebo is aware. Like last year, within May, June, July, August, I got a job. I even had to relocate in search of greener pasture. And I got a job. I worked with the company for 3 months. And that 3 months, they took all my time. That was before I created Half Empty and Not by Chance. But they
Hmm.
refused to pay. I didn't get any pay for the 3 months, and I got stranded. Um, I was broke again, and
Man.
I went back to my art. That was when I created Half Empty and Not by Chance. And since then, if you observe, if you go through my OpenSea, you observe that Half Empty and Not by Chance, they have that similar look, that similar style. And since I created the both of them, I've made a number of other pieces. Some of them are still a work in progress. And now I think I'm giving my art 100% because now I can sit on a computer and I know exactly what I want to do. That used to be a challenge, you see. So I think for
Yeah.
now I'm giving my art 100%. When I have my laptop, I basically create art using Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, and Photoshop. Then sometimes I paint with Corel Painter. But for these pieces, I might be sharing. Discord has still not come up, but it's downloading some updates. You would say that
Yeah. The
after those pieces, the style became a bit consistent and more interesting, meaning I have gone past the stage of um, trying to struggling with a style. Now I have my style. It's up to me now to create, to promote, to advocate, and I know one day I'm going to have my day and get some good funds that can sustain me and sustain my vision of art, of advocating through art.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that's just, oh man, that's so tough to have given months of your hard work and all your time, and then to to basically just be totally rugged in real IRL world, and to withhold the pay, and you're basically stranded and away from your family and stuff is real rough. So I think you had some real inspiration for Half Empty there. But yeah, I agree that the consistency of or having like found some of your style, it can still change. You can still experiment within that, but maybe there's less of a stress level or less of like that because we all have imposter syndrome, especially if we haven't created a huge amount or sold a large amount of art, even if you're just a small artist and you're creating, like you're like, this is good enough, or is this, or am I even a real artist, or those kind of things. But then to have like huge amounts of like either financial or familiar stress on top makes it also harder to create. So then it's like it's really hard to get in that flow, and have things actually kind of balanced. So we'll see how long the updates take for Discord. Sometimes it'll mine will open. It'll take a few minutes too, just because it's running, looking through updates and stuff. Um, but yeah, just enjoying this convo.
Thank you, Zed.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna check the chat here. I haven't looked over at it for a while. Right? Yeah. Okay. Jose is mentioning in the chat imposter syndrome every day. Oh yeah, Jose, I'll be interested. I'll be excited to hear about also the third song, the March song. Jose has been doing. He has been playing music here at Easy's Corner and around in lots of Discord communities and stuff for years. and we've been waiting and waiting, and finally he started minting his music, his own music NFTs. At he did his first one in kind of the beginning of January, and so he's been doing one per month, kind of. So he did one in January, he did one in February, and he's going to be doing one in March. So like when we kind of wrap up, he's going to come and play the usual after party music, but also we'll get to hear a little bit about a trip to the Amazon and stuff. Um, but yeah, this is we got some solid vibes tonight from Africa to Venezuela to Costa Rica to the United States to I wonder where else we got people from in the crowd here tonight. Um, Probably covers it. Oh, I don't know where IG88 is from.
Okay,
How's it coming?
I have a, it's finished updating, but nothing is coming up. You just see the dark Discord screen. Sometimes these are machines, man versus machine.
Yeah,
Sometimes I feel these machines are working consciously to frustrate someone.
that's what it feels like often. But no worries. We'll give it a minute here. Maybe it finished its download. Sometimes after it's like had a few like fresh updates, sometimes it'll like you almost have to quit and restart it again. But then it'll start up much quicker because it just went through all its updates and downloads. That might
Okay,
be
I think I will do that. Close and then open. So yeah, sure, we could
cool.
keep talking about it. We could keep talking about my art. Um, I would also want to ask anyone in the audience, talking from my experience here in Nigeria, I would also want to know in other parts of the world, how is it going with gambling addiction? Is it a problem in the States? Is it?
Oh yeah. In fact, I think, well, I don't know as per like statistics, um, but there'll be correlations when the economy is doing bad. Sometimes there'll be, higher gambling and stuff because people are looking for a way to, win big because they've only got a little, they're not making enough. So like, it's definitely an issue in the United States. I mean, in some areas you might have like gambling is legal, casinos and things are fine, and in other states it could be totally illegal, and you're not even allowed to have like a casino. So it depends on where, like what part of the country is maybe to how bad it is. But I think also, and I would, probably need to look for data to back it up. But I'm pretty sure that with the rise of like social media and just cell phones and being able to have like a gambling app like right in your phone. I mean, or just degenning in Web3 with like gambling on like shit coins and stuff. It's I think it's more prevalent now than it has been pretty much ever in the past. Bigger problem now than before.
The online casino is a problem. And not that I can't openly say that gambling is bad because I don't know. But sometimes it gets to the head and becomes a problem. And one
Hmm.
of my advocacy goals is knowing when it has become a problem. There should be people checking for these things, or there should be policies, state policies, checking out, looking out for our citizens, providing help, providing maybe counseling, medical help, and as you said, most persons gamble as a chance to win big, especially here in Nigeria. So I think they should create more jobs. The whole the I chose creating abstract landscapes. You will see it, abstract landscapes, because I think the society is getting it all wrong. The structure is
Hmm.
broken, and I would explain that with a piece I'm going to share now. I've got my Discord working. So
Oh, great.
I'm going through my files now. So, the society is broken. We think we are okay, but we are not. The system is against us. I
Yeah.
I know that system is against
It
us, but
it is rigged, unfortunately, for the few, kind of at the tops of governments and tops of corporations and whatnot. So yeah, the education about the behaviors like gambling and other types of addiction, it needs to be much better. The education, so that you're preventing, so more prevention, but also like you were just mentioning, programs to help people with those addictions, because there is not enough advocacy for either of those things in current culture. Oh wow, that's a
yes.
dope piece.
Okay, this is self-exclusion. Self-exclusion is being held by Green Giant today, and as you can see, here I'm depicting a broken society, a broken world that looks like it's structured, but it's not. With those elements, you can see sometimes it's not really about gambling, not really about alcoholism, sometimes food addiction. Okay,
Hmm.
so the subject, the guy on red, is walking away from all that. This is self-exclusion, and I minted it, did I say, 2 weeks ago, and it has been collected by Green Giant. I don't know. I guess he's sleeping. We both run on GMT, I think. So this
Hmm.
is like 3 a.m. So he couldn't make it. He would have loved to be here. This is self-exclusion. And if you observe this piece and we have empty and not by chance, you begin to see that broken nature in my artworks because the society is broken. That's the society. The environment is not very favorable. Although with good information, with good knowledge, I know that we could live above all that. Okay, this is the piece I was working on this evening. See,
I
check
think it's
out this.
really really cool, to get to see some of these new works and then hear you talk about it, because yeah, your style is reflecting so well that broken society, but just in a very interesting way.
Another. So I think I have passed. This is me, like this particular show with you. After now, I think I would go more um into getting my voice out because the challenge was okay. I want to advocate through arts, but I don't have a style. So I've been working low key. I think now I do have a style.
Yeah,
So
I think you found it, and it works. It's very fitting. I'm excited to see uh more works in this style and where you take this style, but in like a couple different directions. Maybe with this style, but kind of reflecting some of those works that also had some the deep African roots, and bringing that in with like modern, contrasting that with modern culture, and the issues that we have. Loving the look.
this other piece coming in, I call this one the first vision. It's still abstract, a broken world, and here I added some. Would I say I use the animals there to tell a story. I don't know. I won't want to point out every detail in this work, but I know it's something. Um, Everyone could decipher it as he or she wants. I would also like to hear some comments on this piece.
Yeah, this one is, that might be my favorite so far, and that might have to do with, like, the I don't know, the visual, like, the angles and the color choices, but yeah, like, right away, it stood out to me very strong with the rat, like, I was thinking, like, New York City, like, kinda, like, sketchy neighborhood, where there's gonna be booze and, like, drugs and, like alley cats and rats and stuff. But yeah, I just love the kind of the referencing of all the cards are diamonds, so that's throwing me some like ETH vibes. You've got the bottle there that again is like half empty, but it almost looks like it's just like it could be anything, so you don't really know what's in there. Some of the you've got the dice everywhere, but then you've got like the one house that's blue, almost kind of looks like a die. Also, just really interesting. This one, I really like the way this turns out.
And man, I was supposed to mint them because while I advocate, I'm also yeah, I'll say it's I would need some support, and that is for appreciation, yes, and to help me stay sane while I create, while I advocate. So let me see if I could get some other piece being collected. So
In the
basically, as
last
I said,
Just quick question, in the last piece, you have, uh, maybe it's representing the sun, or like a portal or an eye or something, like the yellow part with the orange ring around it, it's behind the bottle. Was there something specific that, like, represented for you? It's an interesting part of it, and, like, the one little off shade, different orange square there, like, it's just an interesting part.
sure, sure. The sun that should depict the sun, and yeah, it's a society to me. It's a world. It's a living world, and I don't think we can exist without the sun. And I have about three suns in this piece. Each most of the fractions still have their yellow sun. So
Mhm.
like this is the world, a living place. Some of these, if you watch, I still have some grave. I have a grave behind those cards. I have some gravestones, meaning like this is a whole lot is happening in there.
Yeah,
Cats, the cats
yeah.
seem to be innocent. The rats is going towards the dice, like a small dice, probably like a cheese, and uh, the cat is acting so innocent, but we know when you place a cat and a rat, there's always manipulation and a whole lot is happening in this game. Sure.
Yeah, great piece. Yeah, love it. Definitely, keep me posted when you do start minting some of these, and if you got more to share, share.
Okay, I have another variation of self-exclusion. Please, and this piece looks innocent.
I love the way the cat is also looking away from the rat, like, oh, I'm not I'm not gonna mess with you, or you don't have to worry about me, but that cat is like, could be a millisecond away from just like clawing, gutting that thing, or it's so nonchalant there. Ooh, cool.
Yes, and that is how the industry is structured. They make it look as if this addiction stuff is is not in existence. Like it's as if nothing is happening. The bodies, the government bodies, the bigger institutions, they have looked away, but they are actually the predators. You see, um, it just takes a bite from the cheese, your food, your food to
Mhm,
the
mhm.
bigger chains. Yes,
Indeed.
this is
Uh,
self-exclusion.
and what about the pattern at the bottom? Because I've noticed, yeah, that interesting kind of. I mean, it reminds me a tiny of like the DNA helix or something like that. But I was just wondering like, if you just kind of made that abstractly, or if there's some meaning to that pattern as well. The part at the bottom that has like the gray and the orange and the black.
I'm sure every other part of the piece seems unstructured, but at the end of the day, at the end of the day, um, there is structure which could be built upon. Okay, so while I admit that there is a lot of mess in the society, still attests that there is something we could work with down there. Okay, now that you've mentioned it, I could call it a solid foundation because this is like the only structured part of the piece. Every other thing is in chaos. So we have something we could always work on, something we could bank on, but we need to be sure. We need to be sure. We need to be aware. Self-awareness. Self-awareness used to be like it's something I tell people every day. Guys, you need to be self-aware. Okay, with this pattern, I recognize that there can be a structure, an organized structure, a solid foundation. There is. But when you get carried away with other elements like the cats, the dice, the relationship between the cats and the rats, which ends in blood,
Mm.
alcoholism, and all that, you might get carried away and forget about this foundation. Okay, somehow it's structured, but it's one of the last things you see. Oh my god. My other phone, the one I'm using to share hotspots, just went off, and that means I might not be able to send some more photos.
Ah,
Yeah.
well, well, hopefully it's still gonna be running as the hotspot, but if not, I'm really glad that we got to see some of these newest pieces, and definitely we'll be excited to see more. And yeah, I think it's really important that you've found a style. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into these works. You put a lot of thought and care into how you construct your art. Um, so having getting your voice and your message out further would be a pleasure, in any way to help, whether that's just coming to a Twitter space, or hosting one, or whatever that is. So definitely here to help in any way that I can, because I love how your art is evolving, and I think that with some consistent sales and just a bit of success, it could really make a difference for a lot of people, because then you'd be able to help advocate for others to find the tools to work with to overcome their addiction issues and struggles.
Yeah, definitely, Zed. Of course, I am glad I am happy I am able to create these works, and um, it's it's something, after creation. I am glad. I look at them. I use my artworks as my wallpaper, both on my phone, my laptop, because they inspire me
Nice.
personally. But
Love it.
if I'm to extend that feeling, yes, like sugar, I should be able to attract those struggling with addiction towards me. And we all understand the society we live in. Money is a factor. It's not the bedrock of success, but I really need that support. Okay,
Yeah.
every sale I make, I think I was planning to create my website, to build a page, go full blown advocacy, writing, and all that. But I can't do that with limited resources because, as I said, I have two sons, I have a wife, and charity begins at home. Okay, so um, I know the more the sales keeps coming in, I will be able to create this, and I don't need a whole lot to create it. I don't have to sell a 10,000 collection to start, I could start anywhere, just writing and maybe promoting it on social medias, advertisements, paying for ads, um, sharing stories, sharing tips, resources, and all that. Um, Is I'm glad you mentioned. I would still call. I will call to your attention. I would get your attention when I get these artworks minted, and to everyone in the room. I would appreciate every sale I can get. I would. It's going to go a long way. My artworks also talk about commitment. I am committed to my collectors. Ebo can attest to that. And it's something I wish to extend. Okay. So with every sale I get, the more committed I am to take this goal from just a goal in my head and manifesting it in the physical world. So of course, I am calling everyone to at least, even if you would not buy, you promote, you comment, you give me a feedback, constructive criticism. I am open to all. I just want it to be known. Anytime you see the name Sugar with a capital H, just I want you to think about someone, either an addict, the one you know, or somebody struggling somewhere who needs our help, who needs our support. Family is everything. Okay, but
Yeah.
it is
w-
one of the issues an
we
addict gets is rejection.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, yeah, we all know somebody or have someone in our own families that are struggling with some type of addiction, whether that could be alcohol or drugs or gambling or whatever. It could be addiction to social media. It could be depression. It could be there's so many things where you just need some support, and often even it's harder for people maybe to find that support at home. So like having your this goal that you have to advocate for others and to create some sort of support system, eventually maybe even a physical location and plus website and things like that to be able to have materials and just people share stories and things like that on forums can be helpful too. um, but yeah, please continue. Sorry to cut you off, but I wanted to jump in and add that as well.
Of course, that was needed. So,
Mhm.
sure, I'm sharing my Twitter. As I said, I am always happy to connect. Okay, I've made some lasting, like real life, long. How would I put it? I've made some friends in the space, and I am still open to making more friends, to have an audience, people who would understand my journey, who would share my passion of advocacy. Okay, yeah, it doesn't have to be addiction for everybody, but if you support my goal, definitely I support yours, and I am open, man. I am very much open to collaborations, to talks. You could invite me anywhere, and I will do my best to express myself. All that. I'm sharing my Twitter, my X, my Twitter handle.
Mm.
Sharing
Yeah, I
that.
just I dropped the Twitter or X in the chat too. I know because it's still a lot of people seem to be starting to call it X now, but uh, if you go to like the website, it's still the URL is still Twitter, so I don't feel bad calling it Twitter still. Elon Musk wants to have all his cool X businesses, but I don't know. But yes,
Basically,
do follow Suga on Twitter and likes and retweets and spreading that word is it's free. It just takes a moment of time. So I highly recommend everybody to make sure you're following so you can retweet when he mints some of these new words.
can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
So, sure, I'm open to questions, I'm open to opinions.
Yeah, anybody, if anybody in the audience has any questions or feedback, drop it in the chat, raise your hand, come up on stage and, ask a question on the mic if you wish. And I know that like we started and it was like already, I don't know, 2 a.m. or something in the morning for you. So you're pulling an all-nighter to stay with us, and we've been going for a while. So also, I definitely want to give you sort of the time to be able to pretty much wrap up, because I don't know, it's probably getting 3:30 or 4 in the morning for you. And we'll have a little bit of music from Jose and stuff afterwards. But yeah, gonna see also check the chat here for any questions. Don't see any questions coming in. I know that throughout the chat tonight, everybody's just been really loving your work and your vision for this journey of advocating and helping others, whether that's with addiction or other issues too. And maybe a collaboration with one of the communities out there focusing on mental health or something could be an interesting approach too. At least for, maybe to go in and share what you do in, a Discord or a Twitter X space. But yeah, there are a couple communities out there that focus on kind of mental health and stuff like that. So there could be some good possible collaborations out there with some of those orgs too. So try and think of some. I know the Crypto Morris was one. Jose probably knows of a couple too.
I'll follow up on that. I haven't heard of them, but now you've said it, I'll follow up. And sure, I have done a number of collaborations, although not mental health first. I used to be a member of the guild. I don't know if anyone knows the guild. That sold an artwork for 66 eats sometime 3 years ago or 2 years ago. I was a very active member. So, based on one or two, I lost my membership, which is part of the journey. Okay, it was my fault. I wish any member from the guild was here. I'm still we are still in communication, but I fell short along the way, and that also helped me because I won't want to call it rejection, but it is what it is. It's parts of growth. I love it. I guess I was becoming too comfortable being in a group of artists where we have to collaborate and do things together. Personally, it's made me feel okay. I was beginning to feel comfortable, and comfort comfort to me is something that it slows down growth. So I think when I lost my membership with the guild, that was even when I became more active with creating art. And as I said, I have sold a few for my floor price. The okay, I've sold art for 0.18 when it was I think around 1,000 something. I've sold that for 0.3, but that was a gift actually. 0.3. I've sold that, but my floor price basically 0.05, and the sales they come once in a while. So I've not been able to have a very large income of funds. Else, I would have done something physical because that is my goal. I am sure my art is going to support my goal. I'm going to advocate through art. I have held a show. I guess it was with one of the airdrops I got. I did a games show, a mental health slash games show for retractors because I happen to be a Rotarian retractor, a humanitarian. I held that show and it hosted about more than 100 and something youths. We had a whole lot of games. There was swimming, and it was fun. And then I had fun, as I said. So I know if when not if when I start getting a good number of sales, I'm going to keep the community going. both my collectors and um, our friends, those struggling, those helping, because I'm not the only one who has this passion to guide people away from addiction. I've met a number of young persons willing. We are just limited by resources. So I know something big is coming out from Face of Sugar. That would be the name of my foundation, the Face of Sugar, because um, I like expressing myself. Sometimes when I talk about um, my gambling, a friend has walked to me and she was like, "Oh, Sugar, you shouldn't have said this in public. You're saying you gambled in school." I say, "Yes, I would say it's now I'm no longer gambling. There is no remorse, no guilt. But if I don't say it, someone that might be struggling with it would not be able to know that it is possible to avoid it, because yes, I am not very buoyant financially, but the way I place myself in the society, I know I have some reputation. I know some younger persons are looking up to me, not in terms of money, but in terms of character and all that. So when I share my story, I know persons are listening to me and they would have that conviction that it is possible. Yes, recovery is possible. I'm very sure. And that is what I will keep on doing with my art. You can see so far, um, looking at my art, it gives out what I'm saying. Like, we are broken, man. The society is broken, but we can fix it, and we are fixing it. It's a conscious endeavor, which I am committed. Am I still on?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, I thought we lost you. Heard everything up until commit like just a few seconds. It seemed like you dropped out just for maybe the last like 5 seconds or something. But yeah, and love to see that commitment and that you're able to have maybe some younger people looking up to you for being able to turn around and yeah, it's super important for people to know to be vocal about their problems and what they've overcome, because yeah, then you might be the person that changes for someone else how they're looking at a situation, but maybe there is a way out instead of like, no, this is hopeless, I'm just stuck in this cycle.
And it's working, man. It is. It is.
Awesome.
Do we still have elbow in the chat?
I think we do. He's still, I see him there in the audience and over in the chat. Let's see. He was talking a few minutes ago. Yeah. He might be, he could possibly be, grabbing a little dinner or something. Um, I'll tag him and see if he responds right away or not. Then we'll know if he's yeah, but he's at the computer still. Oh yeah, or maybe he was grabbing it.
Yes, I was listening. But
But
then
he's
to every
listening.
other person, so every other person in the audience, I'm glad you came. I'm glad listening to me up to this point, and I really wish you do follow me. Um, I wish you buy my arts, and I wish you spread the news. Like, look out for the little guys. Look out for those struggling. Okay,
Yeah,
a simple hand of acceptance goes a long way.
absolutely. Great message. Let's look out for those little guys. That's all of us. Let's look out for each other.
Yes, yes.
Well, such a great pleasure to get to have this conversation with you tonight and to really catch up because it had been too long. And yeah, I would say let's all make sure we're following Suga. We can keep an eye out when his upcoming fresh mint posts go out and stuff. Let's blast those. Tag a few people in it. Like if you know someone that might like this style of art, or is just like a good human that collects NFTs, they're probably going to like the like story along with it. So they, even if they're not into this exact art style or something, they might be like, "Oh, that sounds dope. I want to support this really cool vision." So tag a few people and retweet that stuff. I guess we're probably gonna wind this portion down. I don't know if Sugar might be having connection issues right now because I haven't heard him for the last just little bit. Um, Gonna give it a second here.
Come again, Ized. I don't get that.
I hear you now. I was wondering how your connection was, just because I hadn't heard you for a moment there. Um, Elbow is definitely looking forward to the next collection, and also says get the word out. And he's eating a burrito, which made me a little jealous. Although I did have a little nice kind of homemade chicken bean wrap before the show. I ate a little, and I'm gonna eat some more after.
Nice, that's cool. I'm talking about the collection. This is a screenshot from my Face of Sugar collection. I think this is my first sold out collection. Over the space of 3 years, I was able to sell them off. Okay, so I get the message,
Congrats.
sold
Congratulations,
out.
sold out.
Thank you.
Damn, man. And I was like, I wonder if any of those editions are still around. Because I had the tabs open. I was gonna look later and see. And I was like, man, Green Giant's getting a lot of your stuff. I was like, I've only got a few pieces. I've got to get something before all these are snagged up. But yeah, so I'll be definitely watching with a close eye these new drops. But yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome to see a full collection sold out. Great work.
Um, Ebo, what do you think about minting on Solana? I've had most of my works on Ethereum, and with the current gas fees, minting multiple
Oof.
pieces
Yeah,
that would
the
be
gas that gas has been terrible lately. So let's see. Solana, I haven't even bought NFTs on Sol yet. I have almost a couple times, and that was only because it was like an artist or like friend artist that I wanted to support. But I still didn't even get over there when one or two of those happened. Um, uh, Mainly because Solana it gets turned off sometimes, and so that just doesn't feel right for a decentralized system where they're like have this central switch to turn it off when they have to fix something. So I haven't ventured there yet, but what do you think about maybe optimism or base or one of the maybe other layers that are still basically Ethereum compatible EVMs, so they run under Ethereum, but are just like Polygon would be. Maybe an alternative like that, or I mean, I'll probably now that I'm going to be moving, I think my a lot of my interactions over to Magic Eden because they're now they've just launched their Ethereum. I'll probably have more both Solana and like Bitcoin and Ordinal interaction once I'm more familiar on that platform. So I could see myself possibly getting some stuff on Solana, but it's definitely like not where I'll be collecting my main, stuff.
so I know Ethereum has well, I won't say we are its Marxists. I don't say that. But I know most of us uh, we've spent a whole lot of time on Ethereum that um, especially for me that creating art I would always want all my arts to be accessible at a go. My main
Hmm.
challenge is having to look for a Solana wallet to see my sold art. But the time calls for it. The gas fees are not friendly. So of course,
Yeah, yeah, and I really do think minting on different chains is really cool. So even if you maybe did a collection on Solana or Tezos or or on one of these other secondary side chains. Like I think it's I'm very blockchain agnostic. I would mess with stuff. In fact, I've been even picking up some NFTs over on the Say blockchain, which is very new. Or it's been around for a while, but their NFT marketplaces are very new. So I branch out from Ethereum, even though that's kind of where I started. I'm not. I mean, people looking at me would be like, "Oh, he must be a ETH maxi," because most of my NFTs are on Ethereum, but I have some on Bitcoin, and I have some on Tezos, and I have some on, Say, and I have, I've collected all over the place. So yeah, I definitely think multiple chains, multiple platforms is good. There's going to be ways to bridge stuff together more easily in future between, whether it's on Solana or Bitcoin or Ethereum. There's going to be wrappers and whatnot. So it could be interesting to experiment. And definitely the Ethereum gas fees have been keeping me from participating in minting much on ETH recently. So yeah, that's definitely something to consider, especially when you don't know how long it's going to take. You mint a piece, it might sell in a week. If that's great, it might sell in a couple months. So if you have to put out you know 50 or $100 to mint something, like that's a lot of money just sitting in between for the gas fees. So I totally understand that too.
And it's been nice talking to you, Zed. It's been nice sharing with our audience.
Yeah,
Really.
it's been really great to catch up. And if you want to kind of call it a show and wrap things up, that's fine. I know it's hopefully you're going to get a couple of hours of sleep before the sun comes up. And we can have you back sooner because it was a pretty long while in between. But yeah, it was really great to catch up and come on even just for like a short update. If you mint some pieces, we can add that into part of the show and just have like a little focus piece and add some tweets or something and help you get the word out. So just let me know anytime.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. And I think we're going to go that. I'll be minting when I mint. Let you know. I was supposed to do that. I had to visit about 3 different places today to keep my laptop running. As I said earlier, I had to borrow a phone. And at the end of the day, I noticed I couldn't mint. I just had my mind since the button to mint. I had to log in. I'm not very familiar with the site yet, so I guess probably maybe I overlooked something. So I'll go back. I'll see everything in place. I will try my best to get back on the show.
Awesome. And yeah, no problem. I mean, definitely take your time and mint it when you feel like, either if you're minting on ETH, like wait till the gas fees are a little lower so you don't have to stress on like, oh, this is just too much gas. Because, they sometimes pop up really high, but usually, within like a week or so, they'll be at some point it'll go back down and then it maybe pops up. But if you're watching and paying attention, you'll find a break for those. Or if you mint on maybe another chain or a second layer, that could be interesting too. But yeah, we'll definitely be in touch. And as always, it's always a pleasure to get to hang out.
So, Green Giant, let's go to now. They have something else. Probably it was sleeping. It was late. It's also late. Yeah, it is fine. And I would say it's elbow. Maybe you should drop me your Solana address. There's a piece I did not share, which I won't be sharing it for some reasons, but it's a gift
Mm.
to the holders of Face of Sugar collection, which happens to be Elvo and Green Giant. Then
Nice.
in a very short while, I will be doing an airdrop to every wallet that has collected my artwork. So as I said, now I am more focused. I have a style which, of course, I will keep on improving on. So creating these artworks, I wouldn't say it's going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy going forward because um, um, there is a job you do mentally, even though you're using the laptop, you're pasting, you're copying, you're painting, and all that. There is a mental job that goes into it, which gives the job value. So I think
Oh yeah.
for going to just come out faster, not like it's going to get easier. It's going to come out faster. I'm going to I'm going to make that point that it is possible to replace a negative habit with a positive one and also excel, like make significant progress while doing so.
Very nice. It's a great message. Love the vibe. And well, maybe if you were saying you're going to be sending out some Solana NFTs to collectors, maybe your NFT will be my first NFT on Solana. I was trying to think somebody minted over there recently, and they were like, "It's going to be my first Solana mint." Um, and I even went over, and it was going to be like, okay, I think that's going to be my first Solana NFT. It was, who was it? Oh man, female artist, been around forever. Can't remember who right now. But then I wound up like just, I
Gimmicks.
missed that mint. So gimmicks. Let's see. Hmm.
I remember I won a gimmicks here, but I don't remember the wallet.
Ah.
Just nice to hear you.
Yeah, always great to have you on. And I guess with that, we might move towards our musical part of the show.
Hey Suga, happy to hear about you today. I remember you from the journey. I remember you from the journey because you are here super early and from Sand, so I guess that yeah, we have been crossing path since then.
Very cool. Very cool. I've always enjoyed your music. I've heard you more than once. So, so you are going somewhere. You are going to just
Indeed.
sharing your music with the world.
Oh, I'm not being able like to hear that last part easy. Can you tell me what do he
We're
say?
getting a little bit of I don't know, like feedback or no, like static maybe through your mic, Jose. It's just a
Yeah,
odd,
maybe.
like, here, mute for a second so I can see who's it coming from. I think it's coming from yours. Yeah, okay, it just went away.
And now you have the noise.
Yeah, you might need to do a hop out and hop back, and hopefully
Okay.
that will get a
Yeah.
better connection. But yeah, well, we'll have Jose back in a moment, and we will have some music, and also get to hear about Jose's Amazon trip. Um, but yes, Sugar, always a pleasure, and man, what a long and interesting journey it has been. I'm so glad that we're all still here, because yeah, Jose, you were saying, having been crossing paths for many years as well with Suga, and he was saying, yeah, what a journey it's been, and so I was just commenting on that too. Basically, just what a trip it has been, like learning the ups, the downs, the art, the music, and I'm just super stoked that we're everybody here in this room that we're all still here.
So, mm,
And it looks like we're getting into a bull market.
yeah,
Yeah.
the most interesting time in the trade. I guess we did hit the all-time high again. This the Bitcoin has crossed our all-time high. I
Oh,
think
did it pass like 69? Where was it? We were waiting for that, and it was at like 65.
I saw
Exciting times.
67. 67.
Wow.
Well, I less than was it early this year or late last year? A friend was trying to tell me how much of a scam crypto is. Like we're having a discussion, and I told him that sure, there has been some crash. A number of persons have lost money and all that. Innovation behind Bitcoin, that Bitcoin can never go to zero, and rather, that personally, then I didn't even know why I was that convinced because I am. Told him that we're going to see greater highs in Bitcoin, and he was like, okay, that this year he gave me the whole 2024 that if Bitcoin could get to $50,000 this year, that he was going to give me a gift. And I called him yesterday, less than 2 months. We've already crossed 60, or 3 months in. We've already crossed, and it gives me some good vibe. I trust face. Over time, we'll be able to get rid of some bad players because there came a time a whole lot of scams, rug pulls, wallet draining, which elbow has been a thing. Um, those are some negative vibes that came with it. But tell them I
Hmm.
trust. I do trust Bitcoin. We're going to see greater heights. I am excited because I know the technology. Even though I don't have a large holding, know that this space favors its own. I'm open-minded.
Yeah. Well, and the NFTs over on Bitcoin, ordinals, like sock puppets and node monkeys. I think in just the last few days, those surpassed all the NFT collections on Ethereum, like have bigger volume than, punks or apes or penguins. Like we're talking, I think that's moving into the billions of dollars for like an NFT collection on Bitcoin, an ordinals collection. So it's very interesting times. And we're getting close to the halvening. So yeah, I don't hold like big Bitcoin or anything either, but it's great to see because it is showing that the things that we all thought and believed in, I think we were right. It's starting to pan out. Like this blockchain ain't no fad. These NFTs aren't just like going away. So good on all of us for being early and sticking around.
Oh, it's 4 a.m.
Test, test.
4
4
a.m.
a
for
4
sugar.
a.m.
Yeah,
Yes,
4 a.m. for sugar.
Wow. Thank you so much.
that's
I
yeah.
appreciate you being here that late and sharing with us your journey.
Thanks, man. Thank you. That's the power of blockchain, bar.
Yep,
Bringing,
yep.
bringing, breaking borders. We are not limited by time or space, or location. That could be space too. So it's all part of it.
True, very true. Awesome. Well, since it's 4 a.m. for you, Sugar, I think we should let you go and just enjoy maybe a little bit of the after party tunes while you hopefully fall asleep.
Yeah, of course. I was going to say that I would tune in for the music. Might just go inactive and rest my head. So, listening to first.
Sounds good, brother. Well, great to have you, and I look forward to the next one, and I look forward to when you mint these next pieces.
I'll keep you
Woohoo!
informed.
there's noise on my side, guys.
Yeah, you still have, I don't know what it is. It's like it sounds like a wind or what you'd have from just like a bad mic connection or something, kind of staticky. Um, Not exactly sure.
This is the
But
first
piece
time you like feel that, perceive that.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely not the normal
Mm.
audio connection that you would normally have. It wouldn't be there. So if there's like it's like if there's gain up a bunch or something, or maybe even a cable. Could it be a cable connection? I mean, I don't know if you have like a new cable or something that you're using for a microphone.
No, I don't have nothing new.
Hmm.
But
I mean, I guess
maybe
it
it's
could
about
be
the
a
speakers.
setting, maybe. Oh, that changed.
That changed. Like it's good now.
It's definitely less now. You sound a little more echoey.
Mm.
But yeah, less like
Is
wind.
is
I'm
it
not sure.
Here, one sec, Jose. Will you mute for 1 second? I think Shug wanted to say goodnight. Okay, we'll have Jose back soon. But yeah, go ahead, Sugar.
I think I appreciate you for having me on the show, even after the last I wouldn't want to call it a disappointment, but I was pleased that maybe since you had me on a schedule and I didn't show up, maybe I stressed you.
Oh
So
no.
thanks for giving me the time. Of course, I'll be back and I will stay more active this time. Like, even if I don't have a show, I will do my best to always come shows. And
Awesome.
saying a big thank you to everyone in the house. Thank you for coming. Thank you for this. Um, don't forget the name Sugar. Go to
Hello.
create art for advocacy. Advocates against gambling addiction, consequences of taking more than you can lose, the psychological effect, the pain that goes to the family, not necessarily the but the kids, the friends, the mom, the dad, and all that. At the end of the day, saying my good night, stepping out, like I would leave the stage, but I would be listening till I can fall asleep. It's past 4, and
Awesome.
it's nice. Glad I did. I'm glad I'm here. Just unfortunate, which could be a blessing too, that I was unable to mint today. So it has given me more time to other get back. So thank you everyone. And I'm glad my very good friend and brother Elmo listened. But
Yeah.
thank you everybody. Thank you everybody and I'm out of like I'm muting but I am still on the show till
All right. Much love, Sugar. No worries. Do not worry at all about the other show that we didn't make. No problem. That happens to me sometimes. Happens to other people. It can happen to any of us. So no problem at all there. And yeah, just much love. Thanks for coming and sharing with us so much tonight. And look forward to what's coming and to seeing you around a little more and being more active. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the show as you get to now relax some. And we'll get some tunes and we'll hear a little bit about Jose, the journey.
sure.
Cool, cool.
Right. Okay, I'm out. I'm out. I'm trying
All
to
right, peace.
exit. I guess I would have
I'll
to.
I'll put you down. There it is. All right, and now Sugar can relax at like 4:04 in the morning. What a great combo. We went for a couple hours straight there, but that was so great, man. Been a long time coming to get to catch up like that. Um, Jose, let's see how your audio is faring.
Test. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. ¿Tú me escuchas?
Yeah, sí, sí, es mejor.
Woo!
Solo it's a little weird that there is this like wind sound or it's not as bad as it was before. It's definitely still there. It's just like
So weird. Maybe with the music it will go.
maybe. It's
Let's
like
see.
a
Let's see if that. If...
it's like a digital static. It's weird because it's like but try playing something and we'll see what sounds we get.
let's test that out. Yeah. I don't know because a few like an hour ago it disconnected the interface by itself, so I reconnected, and I don't know if that uh, was the reason, but let's see if a song can hide it. Okay, I'm going to start with the basic code because I made a recording yesterday of that song, and um, I'm going to participate in the Vibes music competition that is happening on the Hive blockchain, and I think that all of you can help me to win by like voting my entry. I still not sure how it works, but um, yeah, I'm going to participate. They have pretty juicy prizes, and
Awesome.
I never shared the basic code before, just in on Discord. So I think it can be nice to share like an unplugged version, and yeah, it's pretty different from what I do. Like like I got inspired doing the song yesterday, so it has really different energy.
Nice.
Not something too you know out of what you know about the song, but it definitely got a vibe of yesterday vibe. And yeah, I'm going to upload it. I already have the video uploaded. I'm just like stuck writing the post, right? Because I had like so
Mm,
much things that I want to share and I don't know like where to start. So yeah, let's start the music. You tell me if the sound goes right, and then we can start uh, unveiling, uh, desarrollando,
all right.
desenvolviendo. Okay, the thread. Starting the thread. Tengo un código básico para tus hábitos tóxicos, para cambiarte el sonido, para moldearte el oído. Tengo un bálsamo ácido, dulce como la realidad, para limpiarte por dentro, para ir sacando lo feo. Sueño que tengo la última palabra en esta historia. El infinito de aquel día quedó en mi memoria, memoria. ¿Cómo hay que saber? A veces sientes todo un batallón, a veces la hormiga ruge al león, a veces Marte saca su color. ¿Cómo hay que saber? No todo siempre se hace menester, y lo sagrado siempre ha de estar, así nosotros no podamos ver. Sueño que tengo la última palabra en esta historia. El infinito de aquel día quedó en mi memoria, memoria. Tengo un código básico para a tus hábitos tóxicos, va a cambiarte el sonido, va a moldearte el oído. Tengo un bálsamo ácido, dulce como la realidad, va a limpiarte por dentro, va a ir sacando lo feo. Sueño que tengo la última palabra en esta historia. El infinito de aquel día quedó en mi memoria, memoria. Como hay que saber, a veces sientes todo un batallón, a veces la hormiga ruge al león, a veces Marte saca su color. Como hay que saber, no todo siempre se hace menester, y lo sagrado siempre ha de estar, así nosotros no podamos ver. Va a limpiarte el sonido, va a moldearte el oído. Sueño que tengo la última palabra en esta historia. El infinito de aquel día quedó en mi memoria. Como hay que saber, a veces sientes todo un batallón, a veces la hormiga ruge al león, a veces Marte saca su color. Como hay que saber, no todo siempre se hace menester, y lo sagrado siempre ha de estar, así nosotros no podamos ver. Pa, tarata, 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 tarata. Pa, para, pa, para, pa, para, pa, para, pa. How was the noise? Did you feel the noise?
Woohoo! Well, no, I didn't, but I think it was probably there in the background. I just could not pay attention to it at all with the lovely singing and guitar. So it definitely masked, it covered it up. It wasn't like pushing through the music, but it's probably just kind of there in the background. But yeah, so fine for music. What?
You know what I'm thinking? That I heard the other day, and maybe I don't know. Looks like, where you have your CPU connected, it has to be like a direct line, like without any other cable. Like that was something I heard.
Extensions.
Because
Ye-
yeah, because if not, you will always have like this digital sound noise
An
happening.
imprint.
And
Yes.
yeah, somebody told me that, like, because it's like the electricity splitting what you heard. So I don't know if maybe that is the sound you are hearing, because I have a, like, yeah, I'm sharing three things on the same protector, where I have the CPU, which is the monitor and a lamp. So I
Hmm.
don't know if that is
I
what
mean,
affects, the overall sound.
maybe. I'd be surprised. I would think that'd be more like if it was more like long extension cords, and then you also happen to have a power cord that's crossing over a mic cable, or then yeah, I'd be like, yeah, it could be. But at
Oh
least it
well,
was
the protector I have actually is connected to an extension of like 3 meters to the point of power. So it's actually like a pretty long route, I think. So maybe I have some noise, but let's treat it as a filter.
yeah, yeah.
As part of the experience. Yeah, if you told me it's like it's actually still works, it works.
Yeah. It still works.
tiempo que buscaba una piel donde tatuarme, una calle para pasearla, agarrado de las cuerdas. Hace tiempo que perdía, ayer para ser exacto, el tiempo en mil tonterías, por andar muy ocupado. La misión, una guerra de miradas, gana el que menos aguante, el que pierda los estribos, será el que menos se tape. Dices cosas que no pueden salir mal, mientes tanto que no veo la verdad, haces daño, ya no puedo respirar, pero eres necesaria para andar. Hace tiempo que te veo paseando por las aceras y saltar por la ventana es de acuerdos por ti. Digo cosas que no van a salir mal, miento poco, lo que tenga que ocultar, hago daño, no te lo voy a negar, pero tengo lo que buscas y algo más. Mi misión es perder en tu batalla, pero ganarte la guerra, obsequiarte mi pasado para que veas quién era. Si te sientes asustada, espera a verme ahora. Ya no soy, ya no soy, ya no soy, ya no soy ni mi sombra.
Woo! Rockin'.
Woo!
Oh yeah.
I had some time without playing that one, but I think it was a pretty great way to share it, as that song speaks about addictions. In my
Mm-hmm.
case, that song
No, did we lose him?
yeah, music was always like a tool to get out and to recognize and to see parts of me, shadows, and music as part of a shadow work process. music for shadow work. So most of my songs have been related to connect with that part of like our unconscious side. So I have this other song I want to share. Oh, you lost me for a few seconds? I'm here again.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
It was literally just like for like 3 or 4 seconds
test,
in
test.
that talk. You're good. You're good. It might have been my internet, honestly.
Woo, woohoo!
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I think I don't hear easy. Maybe easy is telling me I hear you, but I don't. I'm not hearing easy. Is that is happening?
Yeah, I think it was my internet maybe struggling, and you've got the solid connection.
Suga, do you hear me? Okay, maybe
You're
it's
good,
easy
Jose.
this time. So I'm going to
Yeah.
keep it up. I'm going to share the personal health because I was talking about this, connecting with our shadow, recognizing it, and our personal health is something we have to walk through in a time or another, and it hurts and it's hard, it's tough, but it's where we find also a point of perspective to appreciate a good joke. So, uh, personal health. ¿Cómo me cuesta entrar a mi infierno personal? Hasta respirar me ahoga. No hablemos de fumar. Todo aquí quema y me deja marcas en la piel. Hasta caminar me duele. No hablemos de correr. ¿Cómo perderme en la gente si ya no te busco? Tengo los días contados de verte en papel. Cuando me acuerdo que todo se forja por uno, sigo adelante aunque cueste de creer. Todo es atisbo de restos inciertos de ayer. Algunos son recuerdos, otros me los pinté. Y ya no quiero volver a perderme en momentos. Algunos fueron buenos, los otros ya ni sé cómo tratar de arreglarme si me desespero. Pero me dicen que todo se puede arreglar. Luego me acuerdo de uno de mis chistes internos. Me río por dentro y por fuera y regreso a mi hogar.
Tiwa.
Diwa,
Woo.
diwa.
All right, I think I'm back. Sounding great.
Yeah, happy to share the music. And Suga is on the live event. Suga is in the other channel. Yeah, it's okay.
Maybe he
Well,
probably got
Florian,
disconnected and didn't find his way back easily.
yeah, maybe he will hop up and hop back in as he's not listening nothing. He will think is his connection.
Or maybe he finally fell asleep.
Let's maybe, yeah. Well, I feel like I landed after the songs. Happy Monday, everybody. Suga is here again. And yeah, so we arrived from the Amazon. Our journey was amazing. Um, I had my last contact with you guys like the day I was on the bus. I
Hmm.
showed you that there was no power, electricity on the Caracas bus terminal, which is like the biggest, and it was pretty casual.
Kind of
Like
crazy.
everybody's. It was like pretty casual. Everybody was like comfortable with that. So yeah, we had to keep like an eye into a lot of things all the times because everything was like pretty dark. But there was just a few like an hour or two while we wait for our friends. At the end to our journey, we went with one friend from the circus that I was telling you, Alex, and with Chacon
Yeah.
and her partner, and our friend Waskar, that he also performed on the MBMF that I sent
Yeah.
a lot of my friends. He
I
was one of
remember.
the performers. So we went together. That is amazing. And we had the solar panel inversor. That was the piece that got burned or
Oh,
destroyed.
that burned. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
By
the
the lightning.
inversor. Yeah, so looks like that happened 2 years ago. So they had 2 years
Jeez.
without electricity.
Wow.
That is data that I was aware when I get there. They had 2 years without a solar panel, and they basically use the solar panel for the nights when they need a light outside and inside the house, the churuata
Right.
house, the traditional ancestral house. So they needed for that, and maybe to charge their phones their
Right.
lanterns.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had like 2 years without having that, so they moved from that part. They were already settled there. That is where they produce their food, their yuca.
Hmm.
Yuca is a word in English, guys. Yuca,
Yeah. Yeah.
yuca. That's
People
that's
people
great.
know yucca.
Okay, so they produce yuca from always, and they have different products of yuca. One of them is casabe, which is
Hmm.
like a bread. Actually, the name that
Right. Like
is,
a cassava flour, and then you could bake
yeah,
with like make bread or different things with it, right?
but the cassava flour, it will have a different name because what they knew and what we knew about cassava is the bread already made of
Hmm.
purely yuca, purely yuca, not even like a flour, because yeah, it's like pretty solid. And the name that I read like on books about that cassave is like bread of sun, because
Ah,
it's like a bread, but the oven it's the sun, because they put this uh, big rounded piece of bread into the sun, so the sun toasts it, and then they eat it. So
interesting. So
it's a pretty natural bread, you know.
it's just cooked on like a hot stone in the sun or something.
Yeah, they also has another product of yuca, which is mañoco, and
Hmm.
mañoco is like, it's like a floor, but it's more
Hmm.
big, like big bunches, and sometimes pretty crunchy. So it's not a flour; it's more like a corn flake.
Interesting.
And yeah, but it's not a corn flake. It can be like a yuca flake, and
Right.
they use it for salty things. Like you can mix it with a lot of things, and you can eat it that way. And they also use it traditionally for a beverage that is water with these yuca flakes. And so the water grabs a taste that is like pretty acid and like refreshing, like the yuca itself. And that is like the beverage they use every day, with some fiber on it, yucuta.
Man, healthy beverage, I bet.
Sorry, what?
Healthy beverage, I bet. I mean, a lot better than a like soda pop, a Coca-Cola, or whatever.
Yeah, also they have this seed. The name is seje. And looks like even people can do ice cream with seje, but it's a really tiny seed, so I guess they need a lot of them. It tastes like a grape, but it has a really big solid seed inside, so the fruit part is pretty tiny. So they cook a lot of these seeds to eat along the day, and they also do a beverage with seje, or they mix the yucuta with the seje seed, and they have like different subtle flavors in those beverages that can remind you maybe some kind of seed milk or something like that.
Hmm.
And they also I wasn't there when this happened, but as a member of the community hunted a tarantula, and they ate tarantula in this community.
Oh,
So our
I've
friends that
heard
were
of
there,
people.
yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of people eating tarantula, but I've never like seen it. Someone eating it, or seen even one like cooked or that. No thanks, but very interesting.
Yeah, I think that one of our friends had it recorded. We were at the river at that time, so I wasn't able to eat it or saw it, which was too bad because I love to experience the things. And I was already aware that the community hunted tarantulas and
Wow.
other tiny animals to hunt and to eat. And it's not like we were talking about that. They're like, oh, and do you have some dishes with tarantula? Like, pretty like creative idea. And the answer was like, this is survival. We ate tarantula
Right.
because if we found it, we ate a piece of tarantula each while we find another animal or
Well,
so.
and Elbow asked, how do they cook the tarantula? But I guess at that point, yeah, it's more about survival. So you stick it on a stick, you fry it over the fire. I mean, they're not like cooking it in like a frying pan and like deep frying it or something. I mean, I would try a deep fried tarantula
Well,
leg.
we were hey, we were cooking in the same places they were cooking. Like the experience being there, it was to be with them in all their spaces. It was pretty beautiful. So looks like they put the tarantula above platano leaves, and
Hmm.
then they put that platano leaves in above a fire. So it's like smoked tarantula.
Yeah, so it's not going to be too dried out. Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I guess because I saw a part of a video and I saw the tarantula served on a platano leaf. So I guess they cooked the tarantula above the platano leaf, which they did for a fish. So I think they use the same technique for sure. So the food over there, it was. I asked the shaman how much fish do they need to for everybody to eat one day,
Hmm.
and they need around 30 kilograms of fish. And they are a big community. I mean, like the wider community, it's a lot of people. So that got me like in context, about their lifestyle. And like they get some economy because we travel there and we give them some money, more like a
Right.
symbolic gesture, more like a symbolic gesture than anything, because we were already like doing the solar panel work. And you know but we understand everything. Like, and our idea to get there is to support them. So all of our friends, we gather some money to leave them as a symbolic gesture of, you
Nice.
know, we are here, yeah. And we were able to get a pair of shoes to the grandmother. She needed one. You can look, everybody needs clothes over there actually,
I bet
because
the the environment they're in probably wears out clothes very
yeah,
fast. And then also if you only have like maybe
yeah,
two, like a couple shirts and like one pants or shorts, like it's gonna get worn out just that year. Like
it's like
so
that.
to be able to bring clothes, I mean, they must spend so much time just the time spent gathering and hunting the food, right? If you need 30 kilograms of fish for your village, that's a lot of fish. Like that's not like a couple people going to get that much fish. You need a lot of people working for that.
Yeah, well, for that fish, they bought the fish on the market, and when they do fishing, like in the river, like in the ancestral ways, the diet will be really like tiny, I will say, because the environment
Hmm.
offers like really tiny fishes, and looks like the diet of the community back in the days were pretty uh, tiny. In that case, they sustain themselves with pretty not too much food because of the environment. And what I understood, easy, and that shocked me, is that we are aware of these communities since the 17th. So that is like 50 years ago, 55
Yeah.
years ago. And that was like officially when the government like connects with this community. And uh, that was something that, yeah, impressed me a lot, because I wasn't aware of that. I think that I do ignore a lot of things in my surrounding, and that got me like on perspective, that how curious was that the father of the current shaman decided to be friendly with all of us, with the like Venezuelans. And
Hmm.
they decided to open their ancestral medicine to share it with us and with not only Venezuelans but everybody. They, for Venezuelans and for everybody, they say like Sabarari, which means like somebody that is not from an ancestral community.
Right.
And
Right.
uh, and they decided to open their medicines to the Sabarari. And not only that, but they decided
So
to
great.
open their houses. We are able to visit this shaman, and we can sleep side to side with their family and with him on the same house, where um, every 2 days they host a shamanic ceremony, where sometimes they do protection or healing chants and ceremonies for a specific purposes the grandfather has to do. And in this occasion, I was able like to hear more about the language, and to ask more about the language, and to lose like the shyness about
Mm.
like speaking like them, because uh, the first time I was there, to me was pretty like I was pretty shy trying to speak like them, but because they have a pretty like nasal type of phonetics. It's pretty like
Interesting.
Japanese. It's like Japanese. So it's like we open up as like our friends like these theories of how everything is connected, and how this phonetics is like Japanese somehow. And um, in the ancestral like cosmovision of the Watuha community, there is a space, and we have talked about this before here, about a grandfather dragon and grandfather horse, which we knew that they come with the Europeans coming from the continent. So why this community has these animals on their like
Hmm.
uh, cosmovision? And um, they have a beautiful cosmovision, super huge, that involves like it's like their way to interpret the universe. And basically, there's no good or bad people. There's not like intrinsically good people or intrinsically bad people. There's no thing
Hmm.
as that, because you need the dark side in order to give good advice, because from those experience is that you learn, and you are like able to like to talk from the experience. And that was something beautiful to realize in the jungle with this community, that looks like in the ancient times, before giving you the medicine, the shaman touched your heart to see if you were scared or not.
Mm,
And they also has a vision of that the men's, the dudes, we don't menstruate, so as we don't menstruate, we get charged, and women have the ability
interesting.
to discharge this energy month by month, but we don't have that ability. So looks like we start getting um,
Like
I don't
energy
know,
block
like
or like, yeah.
yeah, like over, like inflated, I don't know, hyperinflation, yeah. So
Hmm.
they have this ceremony with a ray, the sea animal, the ray.
Like the aquatic animal, like a ray, like a stingray or like a bat ray.
Yeah. Let's see if I have a gift with a ray. In Spanish is mantarraya.
Ah, sí, sí, sí. Manta
So
ray.
they have a ceremony where they use the tail. You know that they have a stung on their tail, that they can like stuck into you. Actually, that's how Steve Irwin got killed by a sting. Uh, yeah. Well, this community has a ceremony where they use the tail of ray, and they passed it through the tongue of the dudes,
Whoa.
of the men's, and they do this so you can like menstruate. And there's also like a connection that happens with the ray, because the ray that they used to put you the sting is alive in the river. So basically, like, you connect
Whoa.
spiritually with the ray, and then you have to be careful about how you speak. Like, you are connecting with the ray, and you have to be careful about how you speak. That like ritual, and looks like it's a menstruation, looks like it gives like, it's a ceremony of your tongue, so it's about how do you speak. And uh, it was pretty interesting, as far as I understood. In this ceremony, in the sting, they put the poison of a frog. The name is cambo, which is a medicine that serves like a it's a like a natural vaccine. It's not the same
Hmm.
as, yeah, the cambo medicine. So looks like that they put a little of cambo in the I don't know how to say, in the edge of the ray tail. And that's pretty interesting. That's something I wasn't aware. Um, so I remember uh, a little words on Wadhoha. So I remember is how you doing, hey, how it's going, or how you doing, ¿cómo estás?
Hmm.
That would be that would be Tanoha Aqua. Tanoha Aqua.
Tanoha aqua.
Tanoha Aqua. Yeah, como para adentro.
Tanoha
Tanoha
aqua.
Aqua.
Tanoha aqua. Super
Yeah, yeah.
interesting. I'm just the wisdom in, like Elbow saying, I'm not picturing how they go about piercing their tongues with a live or living ray in the ray. Like when you said that too, I thought, okay, so they hunted, they ate the ray, but they've got the like stinger because that can be used for a needle or tool, and they just pass it through the tongue. But like having the alive like stingray pierce you, and then that's like gonna sort of, yeah, connect you to that and like kind of, get that like electric kind of shock. Like there's just so many different interesting layers on top of just that one little tidbit, that one little ceremony
uh,
they do.
yeah, yeah. yeah, that got me pretty curious because as what I heard is that like that is like in order like to share medicine with your word, and is that part of like being a man for them, like, oh, you are already a man, you already have your own place.
Mhm.
Let's put the ray in your tongue then. And uh, Vanessa is sharing jewels of information into the chat.
Yeah.
Like she have been feeling sick. She have been with us. She have been listening from the beginning. Uh, and I know she have been seeing a little of the pictures that she took. She took amazing pictures, and she took two cameras, and one of them is an analog camera that we
Ooh,
have to
awesome.
build. Yeah, it's
Beautiful.
beautiful. She's so passionate about that. It's the first time I get to know about most of these things. And actually, in the journey, there was also two other fellas who had analog cameras, and there was a pretty great moment with that and like learning process. Um,
Hmm.
so when we arrive to the community, we get into Muacara. That is like the first Churuata, which was the Churuata we visited on 2022. And they have Wi-Fi over there. I remember that that was the last time I sent you a test over the chat, and then we just be there like one day. And so to cook the food, they have some pans, and they cook on the floor with wood and some rocks that you use to put the pan over. And we were cooking with them. We did arepas, we did soup, we did rice, we did fish soup, uh, fish with rice. We did eggs. Um, so we take pretty simple like foods, but we also take some candies and some things that can be like beautiful, like to share with the community. Um,
Nice.
yeah, there are a lot. There are a lot. So we bought a few cookies, and we realized that there was like not enough for all of them. Once you are there, you understand those things, and is that
Hmm.
you know, this current shaman is opening the medicine because his father told him to do that because he visioned that he had to share the medicine with the Western the Sabarari, and that's what Rufino is doing, and he was able to visit the world with the medicine. As I understood, he went into Canada, into Europe, sharing the Jopo medicine.
Right.
Uh, yeah, and um, right now they had different projects they want to make. They want to make like a school, and I want to make something I tell you in the past, that it's that I want to buy cheap guitars, maybe do
Hmm.
a funding for cheap guitars so I can send them there. And that I there was some kids that remember us from our 2020
Nice.
journey,
I
and
bet. Yeah, I bet.
they remember the music that I shared back in the day, especially one song that they enjoy it, which is Música. That is the name of the song, and I don't used to share the song, but in the jungle, that was the kids' favorite. And when I
Hmm.
arrived, they were telling me like Música, Música. That was
Nice.
the only thing that they told me when they saw me on,
Love it.
or if
That's
they imitate that they were playing guitars. And
right. Oh,
it, yeah, it's great.
that would be
And I
so cool. Like to get like five guitars out to like, like those like five
yeah,
kids that are like really interested and they start learning and you teach a few things, you go away, you come back like 6 months or a year later and they've got their own like, kind of little style. Like
yeah,
that would be amazing.
that is yeah, that is totally the idea. And I think five guitars is a great number. There are like five kids who are super interested into music, but the idea is like they want to build like a school or a place where they can put these guitars to.
Hmm. Hmm.
um, And yeah, I was thinking, if I can find a way to visit them to make a project where I can teach them music and go back and forth. Yeah, that would be amazing.
That would be
And
great. I think we could find support for, raising some funds, 5 guitars, maybe a couple other maybe a
yeah,
couple other little, instruments too. So in the school, there's, some guitars, some other, melodic and,
that would be
some hand
beautiful.
drums or something, and then you've got a little mixture of instruments, and then, yeah, if you get out there, every 3 months or something, and you get to stay
Yeah,
for a week or 2 and teach a few courses and leave some material to,
yeah,
kinda study or work on in between those times, and with there's gotta be, there's enough music lovers and good people in Web3 to where we could come up with something to make that happen.
that can be amazing. And there is a friend in the community. His name is Dairo. He is the grandson of the shaman, and
Mhm.
he's super special. Like, he passed the vibe check. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
he's pure joy, and he's a rapper. Easy. He
Whoa.
raps in Watuha. He will
Dude,
rap in his language.
indigenous rap?
He's the
Oh,
only he's the only one, the one and only Dairo MC from the Watuha community, and it's amazing to see him doing it.
that's
And
so cool.
he told me like with little words, like with a few words, that he would love to make something with the song the kids loved. Like, so I was thinking about doing
Yes.
like a collab with him with that song, because that is a song that I totally will give to them, like, you know like doing a collab with him about that song that the kids love. It's like
Absolutely.
incredible. So that's something that, yeah, I'm visualizing. I would love to support Dairo. I would love to invite him to the cipher that you are restarting, Easy, because that's something
Totally.
super amazing. And I would love to invite him, but we didn't have Wi-Fi. I was just super
Mhm.
feeling like positive FOMO vibes, because most of the journey, that in the long walks, I was walking side by side with him, freestyling together.
Nice. So
And that
cool.
was amazing, because we were like walking in the middle of the jungle doing rap, and it was like super surreal, because I don't know how the hip hop arrived to the jungle. There's
Right?
nothing we cannot do
It
about
like
that. It
Yeah, it's this the spirit of hip hop is in this kid. It sounds like it's just it's gonna something's gonna manifest. That's so cool.
Yeah, man, it was amazing. So, and that opened space like to a lot of creativity every day. I woke up, and when I got the energy to went out, I went out, and I took out the guitar, and we played songs with the kids. That was super great to share with them that moment. And also there was a river, where something is that the weather is really hard, but also it has all the resources. And something incredible about the land, Easy, is that
Mhm.
they are cultivating their foods in the lands of their ancestors for over thousands and thousands of years. So where they cultivate, the land is super ready. Like,
Mhm.
it's like sand, but it's earth. It's like, something you can see. And so, yeah, that was like amazing to see. There was a moment where we walked inside the jungle with the grandfather. He took us like in a journey, um, with no roads. You have certain roads that they made, to reach out
Mhm.
to different places. But if you get out of the road, you have the jungle. You have the full jungle, and it's like a weird feeling. Um,
Mm.
and we were able to get out of the road with him, and we visited like some trees that has like, I don't know, we don't know how many time, but we found a tree that it's like glue. It's like glue, you know.
Uh-huh.
They,
Well,
they, they, they I don't remember the name of the of the tree, but they call it pegamento. They call it glue. Pendare. The name is pendare. That is the ancestral name, but they
Ah,
say glue. They say glue because when it's like this like white substance that some trees has, but the thing is that this tree bleeds liters of that, so they use it as a glue for certain things. And they also has rubber trees where you can see the rubber like falling. Uh,
trippy.
yeah, and we saw toucans. We saw toucans in our trip, like in the
Nice.
community. Like it was amazing. I never saw a toucan before. We saw like four. I was able to see just two different types of toucans, and it was amazing to see them. And I was talking with one member of the community about the birds, and he told us that there are birds that they don't know, even that
Mm.
they live there. There are birds that they are super shy, and they don't let them close.
Oh.
So it was beautiful. They know the birds by their name because they know their chant, but they never
Mm-hmm.
saw it because they don't. Yeah, they don't appear to people.
Wow.
So yeah, also the pineapples are so big
Hmm.
that I needed to highlight that, guys. It's big, and they had they are not like
Pineapples, pineapples that they're growing in the wild, or like, so like more like a wild pineapple,
no. They
or
cultivate the pineapples. They cultivate the pineapples in there, but I don't know how the
but just
pineapples
somehow
are
they're
there. I don't know.
gigantic.
It's
Well,
somehow a
you know,
gigantic pineapple.
I've actually done some studying on this because of my agricultural interests in permaculture, and there are certain areas in the Amazon especially where they've been cultivating for thousands of years, and basically they call it biochar, and it's basically just wood that is almost burnt to ash but not quite. So it's like slowly superheated into this just basically like charcoal, like a carbone. But you mix that into your soil with just a few other things, and it basically makes the retention of water and nutrients super high and will like supercharge the crops. And so your crops will be like 30 to like 40% larger and take less water, etc. So I'm thinking that they probably have some of the areas still, like you mentioned when you said the ground is like so perfect ready for
Oh
planting
yeah,
because they've been using that ground for
they
thousands
born.
of years. Yeah. So you are just going to
They
get like
born. They
bigger,
born the
better.
space.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, they born the space. They have like what they call is a conuco, which is like the measure for what one man can work. Like
Mm,
the land that somebody can attend by themselves, that is a
right.
conuco.
Interesting. Wow.
And it's a big amount of land. I will say 1 acre or something.
Right.
And
Right.
that conuco, they born it. They
Yeah.
born everything. Like,
Yep.
and this is something incredible. But how do they? You don't. You know how do they stop the fire from from getting spreaded?
No. Well, with other fire?
Whoever whoever who started the fire has to go take a shower when it needs the fire to get off. They need to get a shower.
Interesting.
What? I heard that, and they do that ancestrally, and
Wow.
it's amazing. Like because you can see like the
Connection.
times of the. Yeah, it's something that I cannot.
Crazy.
It
So cool.
goes beyond the words. And when you do the medicine of the grandfather is the moment where you can realize the most of that. So Vanessa is sharing a couple of pictures. You can see the structures they build. They don't use nails. They use um, like needling to connect the parts between the woods.
Oh, so it's like
uh, and
woven.
and they use all the fibers from the land. They use
And the
plants that do
yucca?
they
Wait,
relate with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That
in the picture
that
above the yuca, you can see the bag,
yeah,
the
yeah.
tool that you are seeing there. The name is catumare. So catumare, it goes on the head. So you grab
Whoa, it's
that
not
with
like a
your
backpack.
forehead.
Jeez.
You
I was
grab that
thinking
with
it's like
your
a backpack.
forehead. Yeah, you
That's
grab that with your
crazy.
forehead, and that is for women
It
because
looks
they
like
are
it's
the
4
ones that
feet tall
that is 40 kilograms of yuca.
and like
That
a
is what
meter
the
high yucca
catumare can charge.
on your head.
It's like a meter height. It's like a meter height,
That's
maybe a little
crazy.
more. And also depends. They don't have. Also depends on whoever made the catumare because they have
Right.
different
So they make
dimensions.
it too. They're weaving that out of like materials that they probably harvest too or something, or like because it looks like very natural
Yeah, that
material.
it's supernatural. They build that ancestrally, and it's made of what they find. But I see that there is a rope, a red
Right.
rope
There's a
there.
little
Maybe
rope,
they
but mostly it's like reeds like from the river or
yeah.
something.
It's like if they want, they can do it supernatural. And
Hmm.
Vanessa, you share the structure of the house.
Wow, this
Oh,
is
see
so
that
interesting.
Vanessa is sharing the details.
Casa por una semana. Wow.
uh, there is a picture above, one of the pictures that Vanessa shared above, where you can see like a lava path or like a dry river. You can see like a stone
Yeah.
that has some dark and white colors. So the name of that for them is Inaue, and what that means is rock. So that is a big body of rock that looks like volcanic, man. And
Hmm.
there are
Hmm.
no volcans over there. There are no volcans over there, So
Weird.
this is a big extension, a really big extension. It's like a high road made of these, and they use it as a high road. So they say that is the Wotuha high road,
Mm.
different from the Sabarari high road. And yeah, so looks like these places ancestrally were their hunting places, because in these Inaues, in the top, because these are like pretty long extensions of rock, like a mountain of this type of rock. There are caves where tigers live, so they hunt tigers in these areas.
Wow. Man, yeah, it's so like so interesting, just so much culture. And then to have the connection between like, some of their beliefs and like you said, they have like dragons and horses and things and some of their stories. So like it would be so amazing to get to like go out and visit once some year to go out and see them and you know have some tribal medicine.
Yeah, that would be beautiful. For this time, I was able like to hear the chant. Like I already was able to hear him, but for the first time, I have talked with different community members
Hmm.
and the kids, and I was like getting more used to the phonetics of the language,
Cool.
and I was able like to get more of the chanting. And basically, the chant is a protection chant that can say the names of their grandsons, of their community members, and maybe if you are there and he knows your name, he will say it too, and then he will chant to the fruits on his land, and he will chant to the mountains and to the jungle, and he will chant to the food they grow, and to the
Hmm.
river where they drink, and yeah, it's like a protection. And what the thing is that after singing for an entire night, like for at least like 4 hours, he blows into the water and into the honey that they
Mm.
have been having into the altar for this ceremony. And they do this because with this medicine they are doing, they um, they are able to protect the body from the poison, and the poison is death, is life and death.
Right.
So the
Right.
poison is death, and they say that death is everywhere. We cannot run from it. It's everywhere, in the point that
True.
when a when an animal, when a tiger dies, the blood, or like the animal fluids, will touch the river, and then all the water is death. So
Whoa.
uh, when a fly puts into the corpse, and then it pollinates a flower of papaya, and you ate the papaya, you are eating the death. So
Interesting.
it's pretty deep how everything is death. So what they say that they are not healers, they are preventors,
Mm.
and they say that dying or death is something, it's going
Inevitable.
to happen.
Yeah.
So it's like, what they the shaman chants, when they chant, is that he is alchemizing the substances in the fruits and the beverages, so he can distillate the poisonous part from the good part, so the community can eat the good part of the foods. And
Like
with the
vibration
medicine,
distillation. That's so interesting.
vibration distillation, it's super interesting, because the structure of the chant is like manifesting with your chant, that you are separating the bad from the good into the things you are consuming. And
Wow.
he does that with the cigarettes, he does that with the tobacco, he does that with water, he
Mm.
does that with everything, he does that with everything. And that's beautiful, like, to be able to catch, like, uh, how 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 it goes with their way of living. And also with the jopo medicine, that is the medicine they use, that has DMT, that the shaman makes.
Yeah.
It's not cooked by any means. It's a natural medicine, because for the Watuha community it's important, as you say with the Ray, it's important for them to work with living beings and with living spirits. So with the
Mm.
Jopo medicine, they don't cook the medicine at any time.
Mm.
They grab the Jopo seeds and they use different trees. The grandfather showed us the other trees in the jungle, and
So it's
they
just a
use.
chemical reaction, like making ceviche or something. You're not cooking the fish with heat. You're cooking it with a lime or something. So they're keeping it like all the life in it, but with some finding some reaction with other plant chemicals.
Yeah, there's a moment where he creates like a floor made of these different plants, and then he toasts it near a
Mm.
fire. Like he puts the medicine close to a fire, a bit far, because it's just like heat it.
But
It's
just
not
enough
like
to,
cook
yeah,
it.
dry it out a little or heat it a little. Interesting,
Yeah,
because I
just yeah,
remember
just enough. Yeah,
I remember
sorry.
also because before when, well, sorry, no, I kind of interrupted, but it was about the frog poison that you said they also put a frog poison on the stinger of the manta ray when they put it through the tongue. And I
Yeah,
remember seeing about this guy who goes on all these different adventures, doing like, going to maybe the Amazon to try that frog. And I think they, like they would cut the skin a little or something, and then take the frog sap and then rub a stick on the frog and then rub it on your wound or something, and it would like burn, but then you would kind of like have some sort of, um, kind of trip, So I mean, there's just so many different
yeah.
fascinating things in
It's
this one
but
culture and village.
there has there has there has to be like a distillation with the frog over there, because what I understood is that not all the communities, not to say just a few communities, uses frogs
Hmm.
into their cosmovisions. Most of them respect the frog and see the frog as a different spirit, okay? But in the case of the Cambo, it's one that have been like most spread among the communities. But there's another medicine. The name is um, ¿cómo es que se llama? La medicina del sapito de la otra. Ajá, bufo. Bufo alvarius, which is another frog medicine. So you have cambo and you have
Hmm.
bufo. Okay, but in the Watuha community, they they don't they don't use bufo, and they don't like approve it, and that is because the old shaman, the father of the current shaman,
Hmm.
used the bufo used bufo the last like 6 months of his life, and looks like what he understood is that it's a pretty strong medicine to the point that it melts your brain.
Wow. Yeah,
So
maybe too strong.
what they say is that it's a medicine
Oh,
for young people, for
well,
young
wait.
people, they
So,
say.
the bufo is actually, does that come from the back of maybe a toad, where it's like a milk that's secreted from mm, little glands,
Yeah, it's
and
the
then
same
yeah,
as
it's
cambo.
smoked.
Is the same as cambo. Like it's like, yeah, it's like a paste from the frog that they segregate. And in the case of cambo, as this Bulik said, you have to be born. Vanessa and I have taken cambo medicine, and it's a beautiful medicine. It's a great medicine. It helps you to detoxify your body. What creates is a peak of globes, white cells,
Hmm.
white
Blood
cell
cells.
globes. Yeah, yeah. So they help you like to scan your body, and these white cells will put all the toxins of your body into your stomach. And then previous taking the cambo medicine, you have to be drinking at the least 3 liters of water, so you can puke out the toxins. And that is a process that occurs supernaturally. Like once you get the poison of the frog, you feel immediately the effects of the frog.
Thicker.
You feel like a fever, and you maybe can feel like pressure in different parts of your body. Depending of the person, the symptoms. In my case, my face turned like a frog,
Mhm.
super big, like a dinosaur, like a frog. It's super funny, and your lips goes super big. Your nose, like you are unrecognizable, but that was my reaction. Not everybody goes the frog reaction.
Right.
Uh, but depends on the process. The first time I took the medicine, I wasn't able to speak like for 2 hours, and then the next occasions it wasn't that big in my throat. So for a moment, it grabs you the poison, so you process the poison. You have to release. Like you don't have to be afraid. That is like the substance that we are working with here, like with fear. So
Hmm.
if you have to control your fear when you do these medicines, you have to understand that your fear is a variable that you can decide not to put into. So um I think that Cambo will react the best if you don't, and as well as every other ancestral medicine, is how do you relate with the medicine? Like how do you
Yeah.
handshake with it? How do you handshake with the medicine? And with Cambo, you puke out, and then the the person working with the medicine can see your puke and can see which types of uh,
Like what journey you're
diseases.
gonna take, or like, yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
which types of diseases do you have? If you put like green, it can be related to your liver. If you put yellow, it can be related to another organs. But if you put
Oh.
red, it can go to something really bad. So you have to check out the puke and the color that you puke out when you drink the medicine. Usually that is a strong medicine, so Like we use it when there was all this COVID stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
We use the medicine, and uh, later um, we just use it as a like a boost, like to boost the immune system. Yeah. And I remember that there was one of the occasions that, because this is, we have taken the medicine by Chacon that have been working with the Cambo,
Yeah.
and we had the opportunity to do it in Soe's house, our friend, or yoga friend, where we were living with our cats, and we had a beautiful ceremony. I remember that the puke goes as a relief, you know, and that
Mm-hmm.
is something that I like to talk about that, at least here. I don't like to talk about medicines publicly, but I love to do it
Yeah.
here
Or
because we can talk about this, yeah, like nicely. So with the puke, the name that in the path of medicines you give to the puke is relief, because when you are into this process and you have a puke or like a puke purge process, you are releasing something that you don't need anymore.
oh yeah.
So the quality of your relief, it's something that you can decide. It's up to the person to have a good relief. So
Make your puke
when
good.
when you drink a medicine and you are processing something that you are going to release, you have to have the humility to accept that and not
Mm.
to fight. And if you do it right, you will feel the relief. And I think that is the lesson of the medicine. When
To be like
something is
humble.
when something is getting taken from you that you don't need anymore, and you accept it, you will feel the growth from it without the density. The density is already away. It's like, yeah, it's like, yeah, like releasing your vessel from the past. And when you don't want to release the past, like when you are um like, how do you say that, uh, uh
Well, when
I
you're
don't
like
remember the word, even on.
stuck on or I don't know. Yeah. In a stuck in a cycle, the same cycle or something.
Yeah, it's like stuck, but it's not the word that I'm looking for. It's like when you are mm, identified, where you when you are identified with the thing that you are releasing in a medicine process, is usually when you are having what they call a bad trip.
Mm.
So it's not like
Because
keeping on a cycle,
you're going through that
because
finally. You're going through that
yeah,
fear.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's not like keeping on a cycle. It's not the word in this scenario, because in this case, drinking medicine, the cycle is out there. Like you have the vision to see your cycle. So if you relieve it, it will be a relief. But if you don't, you will fight to keep the identification you have with the shadow you are just puking
Hmm.
out. So you will not puke it out. And that is like
Right.
a
You'll physically
psychological
puke,
process.
but you won't actually like go through the process of, yeah, emotionally and like spiritually puking it out. Or you could run
Yeah,
that risk.
and yeah, and you can go into this. Uh, if you check out like the definition of these experiences, like in other traditions, you
Well,
can relate that this is similar to exorcism. So it's like
interesting. Yeah.
somehow when you do a pure, it's similar to work with energies that you have that you can relieve, and it's the like identification process
Yeah.
what it's like a crisis moment where everything is like in a peak. And medicines, it's like the way different communities has to treat mental illnesses and like spiritual diseases.
Yeah, yeah. Super important. I mean, honestly, I've only smoked off a frog but once. And it was intense. And I mean, I was, with someone that was basically a good guide, and I went with a very, you know, purpose. And it was an incredible experience. I mean, really, I felt just like kind of shot out into a connected cosmos for, unknowable little fraction of time. Um, but yeah, that was smoked, so I didn't actually get sick or anything. I just laid back and had like the mental trip. Um, but it was
Yeah.
definitely very intense. It was I've never had any other experience that was anything even close to that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm aware because of friends who have taken Bufo. I have
Hmm.
the opportunity, like I have been invited to do Bufo, but I never like resonated with that because it's like I have been relating with medicines that are not like that hard, I will say, or like that strong. And
Yeah.
I usually use the medicines to root me to Earth. So what I heard about Bufo is that you go to another planet where you meet another
You.
people. Like you go to the solar system, you pass through the sun, and we have been talking about that in the jungle. And it's like, it's like you pass through. Basically, what you do is that you die, and you
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
to the next
So then
to the
you're.
next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Through the
so
sun, through the center of the universe, and like, yeah, reuniting with the creator frequency, and like that's some heavy shit.
yeah, yeah. So basically, what the shaman, that shaman passed away, and the community says that was because of the bufo, and the thing is
Yeah,
that
I
it's like like you have to be young to do the medicine. That was what the grandfather said, and after that, the community, for respect, they decided not to do bufo anymore,
I
and
think
actually
that
they
that's probably
yeah.
a pretty good good decision. I mean, I couldn't. I don't know how someone would do it even more than probably just once, but definitely. Uh, uh, and I was much younger. I was probably like uh, what, maybe 20 or something, a long time ago. Um, but yeah, I was, also using it for a very specific, purpose, like medicine. Um, and yeah, but I could see, especially someone older, if you were using that like with any frequency, man, I don't know, mind
Yeah,
melting.
and
Yeah, mind melting.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, yeah. In our case, have been like that, and it's like here is a like strong movement with ancestral medicine. So, it's like I was like hearing the grandfathers from the ancestral communities because they were the ones that has thousands of years of experience around those topics, and they are in the front, like showing the way with all these tools. And in the case of Yopo, um, it's a pretty strong molecule too. Like
I bet
it's the
it
one
turns
that,
you into a frog.
oh, that is Cambo.
Oh, that's a gumbo. Okay.
That is Cambo. That is the frog poison. That is the other frog poison. That
Yeah.
is not smoke like Bufo. Yeah, but Yopo can turn you into different things depending on your process. Like I heard people that for a moment they are able to understand the language of the Watuha community, and
Oh,
the community says that the language of the medicine, it's on the same
right.
language as them. Like the medicine speaks in their language. So if you
Whoa.
want to learn about medicine, you have to learn Wotuha. And to learn Wotuha, you have to speak with them because they don't have a language.
Right.
Looks like they have been certain tries, like there's a Bible made by some
Of
church people that
course.
they made on the language of Wotuha, but looks like the Wotuha community from different regions of the Amazon, they speak different. So the translation they
Right.
have is not
Oh
fully
man.
accurate. Yeah, it's a wide stuff because on perspective, we just 50 years connecting with this community, and they have for centuries living in a way that they told us that in their lands they lived in, there was gold, there was silver, cobalt, uh,
Yeah. Until,
there was
you know,
everything, and they walked with these minerals like because for
right. Just
thousands of years their fathers told them that they were like they were part of the abundance of the owner of the earth, so it was not meant for us. So
right.
for years, for centuries, they just walked with the minerals in the ground. You know, El Dorado. What they say about El Dorado, they say it's true. They say that that is the Eden Garden, and you can somehow feel it. Like they had, like, you know, it goes like to the tree of the world. Like, did you saw Avatar, the movie? Like they cut a big tree.
Yeah.
Looks like
Yeah.
looks like looks like in the community, the Wotuha community, in the cosmovision, there is a character that cut the tree down, and they have a name for him who cut the tree. And back in the day, they didn't need. I asked them, you know, like because I'm interested into this because we are using technology to talk easy